Talk. Inspiration. In perspective. Express yourself. Good morning, my neighbor. Citi FM, your station.
It's a refreshing lifestyle.
Citi FM, 97.3.
Let's go. 1, 2, hey.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi on 97.3.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
Praise the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Praise his holy name. Praise the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. Who forgives all your sins and who heals all your diseases. Who restores your life and renews your vitality. A praise song to start your morning. 97.3 Citi FM. Relevant radio always. This is Elevation Worship. My mouth won't be quiet. How can I keep it inside? I will praise the Lord for the great things he's done in my life. The opportunity to serve you great breakfast using the power of radio every morning from 6:20 to 10 a.m. on your favorite dial, 97.3 Citi FM. Join us as we change minds and shape attitudes using the medium called radio. I'm reading from Psalm 103 verses 1. It's a very beautiful psalm. He says, who redeems your life from destruction, who crowns you with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfies your mouth with good things so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. The Lord executes righteousness and justice for all who are oppressed. I like that. So the Lord is a just God. He executes righteousness and justice for all who are oppressed. Sometimes you may not get justice in a human court. You may not get justice from people you appeal to. But the Lord will execute righteousness and justice if you are being oppressed. He has made known his ways to Moses and his acts to the children of Israel. Now, I think it's more important to know his ways than his acts. Because sometimes his acts are acts of punishment. His acts are acts of power. You can't really know God through his acts. You know him through his ways. So the psalmist says in Psalm 25 verse 3, show me your ways, teach me your paths, guide me in your truth and teach me. So it's more important to know the ways of God than to know his power, because his ways lead to who he is. And his ways are mercy and grace, righteousness, justice and equity. Those are the ways of the Lord. And so those who say we represent him, those who say we do things in his name, justice, judgment, equity, mercy and grace, these are the things that define who he is. And let those be your guiding posts. As you learn his ways, so you appreciate who he is. Business Sense brought to you by Access Bank, with up to 500,000 Ghana cedis in cash and other amazing awards. Take part in the Fakitwa Beji Kessia promo. Deposit 250 cedis in your account, increase it to 500 and qualify for a draw. This is for all kinds of people, including youth customers and those with access to Visa cards. It's a promo which is in partnership with NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Call 0800 004400. Yeah, that was Business Sense.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
If you have 250 Ghana cedis right now, it can do wonders for you. Chairman, Fabeji, it could turn your tears into joy in the Access Bank Fakitwa Beji Kessia promo. Madam, Fabeji, it could get you up to 50,000 Ghana cedis cash prize. Business owner, Fabeji. As a student, make transactions with your Access Bank card, and that could get you Spotify and Netflix subscriptions, PS5, iPhone 16 Pro Max, and more. This be out of class sense. Fabeji, you see what 250 Ghana cedis can do for you? Engasakra. Fabeji, it's the Access Bank Fakitwa Beji Kessia promo. Deposit a minimum of 250 Ghana cedis and its multiples in your new or existing account, and be on your way to winning a share of the 580,000 Ghana cedis in cash prizes and other amazing rewards. The more you deposit, the more your chances of winning. Promo runs from now to September 2025. This promo is in partnership with NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Access Bank, more than banking.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even though they try to knock me over, I'll never fall down. 'Cause I'm gonna wear that crown with my feet on the ground. I know I'm born to it, so I'm gonna get it. Watch me soar up to the sky and fly now. I put my hands up, oh na na, and stand up, oh na na, and hold on. Oh na na, to everything I know that makes me so strong. Oh na na, and go on. Oh na na, I'm okay. Oh na na, I raise my voice to them and say, although they try to knock me down, yeah, I'm gonna stand up, gonna stand my ground. Yeah, I'm gonna open up my heart to give, yeah, because it's the only way to live. I'm gonna be positive. Positive, I'm gonna be positive, yeah, positive, I'm gonna be positive, yeah, positive, I'm gonna be
I'm certainly going to be positive. 6:30, we jump into the headlines brought to you by Fidelity Bank. Join us at the Wheels and Homes Expo 25, the ultimate fair for everything mortgage and auto, happening at the Good Park at the Accra Mall from 19 June to 21st June. Whether you're buying your first home or upgrading your ride, this is your one-stop shop for great mortgage deals, expert advice, and unbeatable rates and discounts from our auto and real estate partners. Come with the family, get pre-approved on the spot, and walk away with the keys to our new home, or to your new home, or your new car, or both. Admission is free. The Wheels and Homes Expo is powered by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us. All right, so we're jumping into the headlines. Richard Sky and Caleb Kuda joining us here. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm looking forward to the day.
Yes, you guys are popping. It's like you are sidelining Abeku. You are the only one. Why are you not giving Abeku? Why?
What am I doing?
You are popping. You are popping. You guys are popping.
Well, the program these days, radio is streaming live on YouTube, so we have to dress appropriately.
Made in Ghana. I feel like Abeku. The team know the reach.
And we also have to keep wearing our Made in Ghana to put our money where our mouth is. So this morning, everything I'm wearing is made in Ghana. My watch is from
Caveman watch.
Caveman.
Excellent.
My top is from Juma, indeed the trouser as well. And my shoes are horseman shoes.
Horseman challenge.
Yeah. So everything is Ghanaian.
You are helping the city.
The only thing is the glasses.
You mean the only thing is the chichi?
Yeah. If there's a Ghanaian company that manufactures frames, I'll be happy to buy from them.
That would be good, because mine, the temple got off.
Yeah.
And I'm getting them to replace, and they say it can't be fixed, and I'm so sure like the whole thing has been done.
They want you to buy a new
telling me
one.
that you can't fix a small temple.
No. So there are some industries that are not easy to enter.
It was difficult.
So
I have a concern.
Which is what?
See, the Achimota old bus station.
The old Achimota bus
This
station.
morning, trucks have parked at the bus stop.
Which one?
So when you are coming from Achimota, the overhead, the one that takes you to Achimota school, you are coming closer to the 10 you can take to the N1. That particular bus stop, trucks have parked there.
And they are doing
Trotro buses also parked there. So when you are driving, they block the flow of traffic.
Why have they parked there?
I don't know, like 3 trucks, long trucks, and they've parked there. So Tesla police should
maybe
just move
they are
They should move there. That's not where to
when you
rest.
have a long distance journey to Ouagadougou, sometimes you have to rest.
No, that's not where to rest, because it impedes traffic, and the tractor drivers, they are now stopping on the road itself.
You should have stopped to ask them why they are there. Maybe they would have told you why they are there. Maybe they are just.
I don't think it's proper. The second problem I have is the Asylum Down storm drain, the one that comes from Nima through
I know that
Paloma
one.
all the way.
What's happening there?
See, the concrete slabs on the sides are all gone.
So
that
now,
means that with
when
the
it
next
rains,
downpour, everything is going to people's homes, and the content of that place
is very bad.
The bridge that is sitting on that storm drain too is very skeletal and is very deadly. So to our friends at Garrett, I know they are doing a good job, but they must pay some attention, move faster.
So they should go and fix the Asylum Down storm drain.
Yeah, just to add a quick footnote, the cathedral traffic light.
Yeah.
Yes.
For some reason, some are working, some are not working.
So the ones who are using the Bounce Road? No, Castle Road. I think.
Road.
Yes,
when you're
that's the
coming
Castle
from
Road.
Yeah, the Castle Road. You have to just guess.
I mean, what is that?
Sometimes both are red and green.
No. What happens is that the one from the Methodist Church side, I don't know the name of it. I think that's Bounce Road.
Okay.
The Bounce Road one works. That takes you to Asylum Down and the other way. But the one that takes you from Adabraka, yes, that Castle Road one, it's just there. So when you get there, you just count.
It is wrong. I beg you, lives are at risk. Let's do something about it.
All right.
Anyway, let me take you to the Ghanaian Times this morning. Hospitals grind to a halt as nurses, midwives strike escalates. Also on the front page this morning, district directors of education to get more powers to improve service delivery at grassroots. This is according to the President of the Republic. And then GHS, CKT, UTAS, GCPS sign MOU to promote professional development.
What have I do? Stop that.
Yeah, but that's what. So that would be Ghana Health Service. Is it CK Tedam? Maybe CK Tedam UTAS. Yes. And then GCPS. They have signed a memorandum to promote professional development. All of them are holding the
As a senior journalist, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. Don't inflict these things on the listeners.
Forgive us. Anyway, and then also the Times is still raising funds.
There's another one there.
Okay, this one is
Gliss.
PTA,
Yes.
so Gliss PTA
Yes.
expresses concern over growing criminal activities around schools.
So
You know, this
Gliss
serious
is the
matter.
Ghana Lebanon Islamic School is at Circle.
Okay.
Just around where the VIP station STC is.
Oh, beautiful.
Daily Guide is headlining that strongly here. Ghana Lebanon Islamic School battles quarters over squalor. It's a very terrible situation. You have sex workers, you have drug dealers all around a secondary school, and the PTA is raising alarm. Now, nurses suspend all services nationwide. Withdrawal Doomsaw levy minority to government. Journalist Beta remanded, and Edu Boahen demands national security account details.
Okay, so let me take you to this one that says NS, meaning National Security, IGP called into action
Yeah.
as Ghana Lebanon School, secondary school raises alarm
Yeah.
over threat being posed to students by squatters. Also on the front page this morning, draconian Doomsaw levy to drain Ghanaians of 5.7 billion Ghana cedis. This is according to the minority speaking through Kojo Opon Nkrumah, who is a member of parliament for the Ufuasia Yoruba constituency and ranking member on the economy. Also on the front page, Vera Oye Bramlabi to contest MPP National Youth Organizer position.
Okay, Daybreak newspaper Osaberima Ansa Sasreku hot over SNIT job. CIMG leadership pays Kesi call on chief of staff. And coming up, the names behind Dorothy Kani's 33 million Ghana City Exim Bank loan and the sweet potato bread factory. Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association rejects government's 2026 proposal as unfair. And MPP race, you want to worry me. Dr. Baumia teases Brian Echampo.
Let me take you to the Hawk newspaper. Kufuado's cousin on the run. OSP launches global search for what's the name? Ken Oforiata.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes when they write his KOA, it's confusing. Also on the front page this morning, we are told Ghana pays 29.6 million US dollars and gets 1% road. Contractor vanishes. MP straight blame. This is, in line with the stories we brought you earlier. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then also, Dr. Stephen Amwa justifies power levy.
Okay.
And then also something here that says that no second chances for losers. If Japan makes case for 2028 candidates.
So, News Guide Africa, GRA urges citizens to take advantage of tax incentives to lessen tax burdens. Opposition stiffens as stakeholders debate the remnant of the 1 Ghana Cedi fuel levy. BOG goes hard on loan defaulters, targets non-performing loan ratios at 10% of gross loans. TDC goes 24-hour client support service. Non-interest Islamic banking, a tool for development, not division. And if you go to the high street, government quietly wooing BDCs to cut suppliers premium to ease impact of 1 Ghana Cedi energy levy. That's the NPA boss speaking. And there's one here that will interest you, Bernard. Ghana risks total EU fish export ban by 2026 over illegal fishing. This is Parliament warning. And then Ghana races to settle debt owed US firms. These are some stories on the High Street Journal.
The final newspaper from us is the New Republic that says Minister locks down Wale Wale Binduri as guns go ablaze again, and we're told that there's renewed conflict there. Also, ex-MPA board member in OSP's trouble. Also, McDonald's lawsuit against editor a hoax. That's what they are claiming. And then also, we're told the government has launched an all-out war on corruption.
All right. Let me give you a few more headlines. So, Ferriata will return after June 13 surgery to face OSP. This is according to his family.
Okay.
They are also not happy with the way OSP has been treating their relative. This is the lead story on citynewsroom.com. In other stories, new petroleum tax bites harder than global price hikes. This is COMAC.
Okay.
In other news, the transport unions have suspended their intended strike action over the fuel levy. Commercial transport operators suspended nationwide strike. And then, because of the discussion they had with government.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, blame government if lives are lost. This is registered nurses on the strike. And then Parliament is to draft a law supporting lifestyle audits. This is Abang Bagbin.
Okay.
So keep an eye on this. Channel 1 News is leading with Ministry of Health say they are optimistic that the strike will end soon after a crucial meeting yesterday. Then there's a lot of stories on the fuel levy. We are not seeking popularity of our levy. This is Kojo Opon Nkrumah speaking. In other stories, Gold Board Central to Mohammed's Economic Revitalization Agenda, Sami Jemfi is speaking as well. Meanwhile, patients frustrated as nurses strike disrupts healthcare service at Ho Teaching Hospital. Those are some headlines you have on channel1news.com. You go to my journal online, their lead story is striking nurses did not create opportunity to talk. Labour Minister is speaking. He also says this is a new administration. He urges nurses to reconsider their strike tactics. Lots of stories. Now let me take you to Graphic. For a couple of days, the Daily Graphic has not been available in print, but the digital version of the paper leads with 2020 BEC begins tomorrow. Over 600,000 candidates set to write. Meanwhile, the one city fuel implementation, the levy is starting on Monday. Fidelity Bank posts robust performance for 2024, and then Ghana-US deepen trade cooperation. Minister holds discussions in Washington, D.C.
Okay, so let's take off this morning with the strike by
the nurses.
And how it is impacting, hospital or health delivery across the country. Now, page 12 of the Ghanaian Times has the lead story, and it says that healthcare services across the country have virtually ground to a halt following the complete withdrawal of nursing services by striking nurses and midwives yesterday, leaving many patients stranded and placing lives at risk. Now, the strike, which began in phases on June 2, 2025, has now escalated into a full-scale industrial action by members of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Now, it is in protest over what they claim to be the government's delay in implementing the 2024 collective bargaining agreement, which outlines improved salaries, allowances, and working conditions for nurses and midwives. Now, despite a 10-day High Court injunction order secured by the National Labour Commission last Friday, declaring the strike illegal and directing the nurses to return to work, the association said it will continue the industrial action until their demands were met. Now, during a visit to the Wejak Bawe Municipal Hospital in Accra, the Ghanaian Times observed a nearly deserted outpatient department.
Well, Channel One News has a lot of stories on this. So, for example, they've shown stories from the Ashanti region, from the Volta region, and other parts of the country where the strike is biting hard. But the angle I want to bring to you is the meeting that was held yesterday. So, the Health Ministry say they held a crunch meeting with the nurses to resolve the ongoing strike. Jennifer Nati is reporting that efforts to end the ongoing strike have intensified as the ministry holds critical closed-door meetings with leadership of the nurses and other stakeholders. The outcome of this discussion is expected to determine whether the industrial action will be called off or continue in the coming days. Speaking to Channel One News, the PRO of the ministry, Tony Goodman, said he was optimistic, saying the ministry is hopeful the nurses will accept the terms under discussion and agree to end the strike.
Well, the offer was denied. National executives of the association rejected the government's plans to defer their demand for better conditions of service to 2026. The association's vice president, Samuel Alakora Akologo, revealed that following an emergency closed-door meeting with the officials from the ministry, they attributed the government's inability to meet the association's demand to budgetary constraints. Quote, we were told that there was no budget provision for it, and these conditions of service were presented to the government in January, and we expected that they would be factored into this year's budget. Unfortunately, we are being told that the challenges of implementation are such that they have budget constraints, and what they wanted us to do is to agree on was to push the implementation to 2026. What it means is that they want us to set conditions of service calendar so that it will be like we have just renegotiated.
Still staying with the health sector, the story that the headline I brought to you much earlier is on page 13, and Abigail Arnaud reporting says, which is the GHS CKT TEDAN whatever. The story says the Ghana Health Service has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons and the CK Tedam University of Technology and Applied Sciences, which is the CKT UTAS, to promote professional development and improve healthcare delivery in the country. Now, the agreement establishes a structured pathway for clinical professionals within the Ghana Health Service to assume academic roles, such as clinical lecturers and professors, while continuing to serve within the health service.
Let me take you to the levy. The fuel levy has two big stories here. COMAC say that the levy is not good. They are saying the new petroleum tax bites harder than global price hikes. This is an interview from yesterday on CNR. So the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, has clarified the basis of its protest against the immediate rollout of government's 1 cedi per litre energy sector levy on fuel. This comes after the chamber opposed the levy's initial implementation date of June 9, citing operational and financial concerns. In response, the government has rescheduled the rollout to June 16. Now, speaking to Channel 1 Newsroom on Monday, the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Rivers Nopong, explained that the objection was not to the levy itself, but to the abrupt timeline and lack of liquidity and logistical preparedness. So apparently they would have to pre-finance and then they would sort of claw back when people buy. According to him, the fuel price increase driven by global commodity markets differs fundamentally from tax-driven hikes due to upfront financial demands they place on oil marketing companies. He poses that the sector is not operationally ready, which is why they were asking for more time. Now, the drivers, however, have called off an intended strike. This is still on citynewsroom.com. Beverly London is reporting that commercial drivers or transport operators have suspended their nationwide strike. The unions had intended to withdraw their services in protest against the recently introduced levy on petroleum products. However, following a meeting with officials of the Ministry of Transport, the union agreed to suspend the action. According to Samuel Amua, who is the deputy PR officer of the union, the government has assured them the levy would not lead to increase in fuel prices. Other discussions were held as well. So those are the two stories there.
Meanwhile, the minority is still pressing on the government to withdraw the Doomsaw levy. This is page 6 of the Daily Guide. Minority in Parliament has called on the government to immediately withdraw the newly imposed 8% levy on petroleum products, describing it as a betrayal of public trust and a direct assault on the livelihoods of ordinary Ghanaians. Addressing the media in Parliament yesterday, the minority led by the ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee, George Kwame Amoako, criticized what they call the government's hypocrisy, accusing it of imposing a tax it had previously promised it would never introduce.
Okay, now let me take you to this story that is unsettling parents at the Lebanese school close to us. Now the story says National Security IGP called into action as Ghana Lebanon Islamic Secondary School raises concern over threat being posed to students by escorters. The story is on page 3 of the Chronicle, written by Sebastian R. Freku, and it says authorities and the Parents Teachers Association of the Ghana Lebanon Islamic Secondary School in Accra have called on national security and major stakeholders, including the Inspector General of Police, the Ghana Education Service, Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, GRIDCO, Ghana Railways Authority, and the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to take immediate steps to halt the chaotic and illegal development of parcel of land close to the school. Now, the management of the school claims that besides the emergence of a slum close to the school premises, the situation poses a danger to the safety and well-being of students and teachers and the immediate community. Now, the PTA believe that with the combined efforts of stakeholders, the situation can be brought under control, and further suggested that the squatters must be relocated as a matter of urgency to restore a safe learning environment.
So Daily Guide has more details about the dangers. It says the presence of the squatters has compromised our safety and the quality of the learning environment. This is not just about land trespassing, it is about protecting our children from exposure to crime and negative influences. One of the PTA parents said this, that the school community is particularly alarmed by reports of drug use, theft and public misconduct within the slum, noting that some squatters organize naked jam parties at a nearby beer bar every Friday night, exposing students to indecent and disruptive activities. So it's a situation that needs urgent attention, really.
Meanwhile, the president is on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, and he's quoted as saying that district directors of education to get more power to improve service delivery at the grassroots. Now, the story is by my good friend Julius Yao Petechi, and it's on page 10 and says President John Dramani Mahama is backing proposals for greater authority for district directors in the management of schools in the country. Now, he said it made no sense for directors to sit in Accra and make decisions for schools in the rural areas whose peculiar challenges may differ from those in Accra and
all right, let me continue on education. Graphics lead story by Joshua Bedia Kukumsen. BEC starts tomorrow. A total of 603,328 candidates across the country are set to sit the 2025 Basic Education Certificate Examination, scheduled for Wednesday, June 11 to Wednesday, June 18. There are 297,250 males and 306,078 females. So there are more females writing BEC than males.
Wow.
They are the first batch of students seeking to benefit from the free senior high school. policy under the new government. So under this new government, the number of candidates who registered for this year's BEC makes a 5.99% increase from the 2024 figure. So almost 6% increase. With regard to BEC for private candidates, a total of 1,661 candidates were recorded. This year's figure is 19% higher than the previous one. So almost 20% increase of private candidates. The BEC for school candidates will be conducted at 2,237 exam centers across the country, while 15 centers in the regional capitals will be used for BEC for private candidates. So that's a good one. We wish the candidates well as they start their journey tomorrow.
Yeah, Bernard, journalist Beta remanded. Daily Guide, page 6. Prince Fifi York writes that a known sympathizer of the New Patriotic Party, Theophilus Thompson, has been remanded into custody after he pleaded not guilty in court to charges of assaulting journalist Latif Idrisu during a protest staged by the NPP in front of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Yoko, in Accra. At his arraignment yesterday, Thompson denied the charges, and his defense counsel argued that he is not a flight risk and has a fixed place of residence and should therefore be granted bail. Citing section 97.4 of Act 30, the lawyer emphasized that the court shall not refuse or withdraw bail merely as a form of punishment. However, the state prosecutor, Chief Inspector Olivia Oforiata, opposed the bail request, citing the ongoing nature of the investigation and the fact that other suspects remain at large.
Let me take you to Ken Oforiata's family. They've written some statement. They have petitioned National Central Bureau and CCF for deletion of the Interpol Red Notice. The family of former finance minister has accused the OSP of abusing its power in what it calls a premeditated vendetta against the former official. In a statement released on Monday, June 9, the family condemned the issuance of an Interpol Red Notice and declared OSP's actions as violations of due process, constitutional rights, and international law. They have formally petitioned both the National Central Bureau and Commission for Control of Interpol's files for the immediate deletion of the Red Notice, arguing that it was procured based on manipulated evidence and withheld medical information. They've also said that Mr. Oforiata will return to Ghana after a surgery on June 13. Mr. Oforiata, currently the suspect of an investigation by the OSP, has been placed on an Interpol Red Notice. And the family then gives some details of his itinerary.
Okay, well, let's stay within the space of crime or alleged crime. If you go to page 9 of the Hawk newspaper, 2 people have been arrested with suspected narcotics at Ayi Mensa. And the police have launched a manhunt for a third suspect.
There's also one, they've caught people at Akachi, parcels of Indian hemp. GNA is reporting. Charlie, what is going on? People are trying to smuggle things.
Charlie, the Ghana Police Service has arrested 2 men at Ayi Mensa in the Greater Accra region after discovering 11 large compressed sacks of substance suspected to be narcotics. The suspects are identified as Matthew Nakote and Augustine Tay, and they were apprehended on the 7th of June, which would have been yesterday, right? By officers from the National...
7th was Saturday.
Saturday, okay, over the weekend, during routine patrols. Now, according to police sources, the suspects were traveling in a Mazda pickup truck with registration number GT3490P when a search of the vehicle revealed the concealed suspected substance.
What were they supposed to be? Because the one at Akachi is supposed to be Indian hemp. So the MC for Akachi South, Daniel Dagba, together with the police, impounded a Toyota Venza private vehicle allegedly loaded with marijuana. This was after the vehicle was involved in an accident at the Momoni Bypass Junction at Akachi in the Volta region. The black-colored vehicle somersaulted and later landed in a nearby bush after it was alleged to have been chased by some Citi officers. The DC rushed to the scene, disclosed that the vehicle contained large quantities of suspected Indian hemp. You know, Charlie, what is
Why
this?
are we producing the thing so much?
If the thing grows well, let's think of how to produce the medically...
we passed the law, but the law, I don't know what's happening
because
with
the
the
thing
law.
grows easily every time people want to... So, Charlie, basa. You know, meanwhile, people are not getting work to do. They should have a national marijuana conversation so that we discuss it well. Now, 2 stories from Hajj, quickly. So, Musa Dankwa is, you know him, he's a research guy. He's been on the Hajj and he's one of the people who've been speaking to us about some of the conditions at Mecca. So yesterday he spoke to Marisanda on Eyewitness News and said some of the conditions were pretty bad. Now we called up the Hajj Task Force and the former MP ABF Husseini says there's overcrowding because of unregistered pilgrims. That's what he's saying. So ABF Hussein, head of corporate affairs of the Hajj Task Force, has dismissed concerns of overcrowding and inadequate lodging of the Ghanaian Hajj camps, insisting that every officially registered pilgrim was provided with proper accommodation. His response follows Facebook posts by Musa Dankwa, who claimed that nearly 6,000 pilgrims were crammed into facilities designed for 5,000, forcing some of them to sleep outdoors. However, ABF Hussein refuted these assertions in an interview on Eyewitness News and stated that, quote, the task force provided space for every pilgrim. Every pilgrim under the hedges or I mean the ages of the Hajj task force was provided a tent. There was not a single person who went on the ticket of the Hajj task force who was left to sleep outside. Every single one of them was given a space. He attributed overcrowding to unregistered individuals, suggesting their presence put a strain on available resources. So maybe they went on their own and they went to join the officially people. That's what he's saying. But Musa is saying that it was pretty bad. The places were overcrowded and it's not very healthy.
Wow.
So
the final one for me: Ghana risks total EU fish export ban by 2026 over illegal fishing. This is the High Street Journal. Ghana could face a complete ban on fish exports to the European Union by 2026 if immediate action is not taken to clean up the country's fisheries sector. The Parliamentary Select Committee on Food, Aquaculture and Cocoa Affairs has warned. Now, addressing stakeholders at a fisheries reform consultative meeting in Accra, the committee's chairman, Dr. Godfrey Seydou Jeso, revealed that Ghana has already been issued 2 yellow cards warnings by the EU in 2023 and again in 2021 for illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing practices. A third strike would result in a red card, effectively cutting Ghana off from one of its largest seafood exports.
We'll take a break and bring you City Business News right after this.
Merci.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work, but you know it's out in your side. You for believe with us, you for hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out in your side. And when you dream, no say I live for you. And when you hustle every day, many wanna go. Anything you do, I live for you. Many want. You for believe I live your side. Fidelity. You for believe with us. Fidelity. You for know I live your side. Fidelity.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. At what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I'll go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Yo, Anna. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Fast approaching 7 o'clock, City Business News with EcoBank and MTN. Latte is here with the details. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello, welcome to the breakfast edition of City Business News right here on 97.3 City FM, brought to you by MTN, Goyle and EcoBank. Coming up, mining companies renew push for government to scrap VAT on mineral exploration, warning that the tax is crippling new investments in the sector. Also, Ghana rallies for the renewal of the AGOA deal amid rising U.S. trade barriers. We'll tell you about ongoing discussions in Washington. Much later, petroleum sector players demand transparency on fuel levy use as they caution against the long-term burden of that extra 1 cedi you'll be paying at the pump. I am Ni Latte. Many thanks for joining us. Let's settle for the details now. In our first story, government is pressing for the renewal of the African Growth and Opportunity Act AGOA in the wake of growing concerns over protectionist U.S. trade policies. The push comes as Ghana and other African countries face mounting pressure from America's new 10% global tariffs threatening export competitiveness and market access. Trade, Agribusiness and Industry Minister Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari is in Washington pushing for an extension. Citi Business News' Daniel Sakiti has the rest of the story.
The meeting focused on pressing trade policy issues and ways to preserve the hard-won economic cooperation between the two nations. Key among the discussions was the future of AGOA, set to expire in September this year. The minister reiterated Ghana's strong support for the agreement's renewal, describing it as a win-win framework that has attracted substantial U.S. investment into Ghana, particularly in the garment and textile sectors. The impact of Ghana's local content regulations on U.S. mining companies operating in the country was also reviewed. Both sides agreed on the need for constructive dialogue to balance national development goals with investor interests. Concerns surrounding the importation of excavators and overage vehicles from the U.S. into Ghana were raised, with emphasis on developing regulatory clarity and enhancing standards compliance. Addressing concerns about long-standing payments owed to American businesses, the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry assured the U.S. officials that the Ministry of Finance is actively addressing the issue and working towards a timely resolution. Additionally, both parties agreed on the need to resume structured talks under the Trade and Investment Framework Agreement, reinforcing mutual interest in revitalizing economic ties. As part of the ongoing engagement, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari is expected to meet with the Office of the United States Trade Representative in the coming weeks for further bilateral consultations.
My colleague Daniel Sakite with that report. Now, market analysts have raised red flags over the Bank of Ghana's financial position after the central bank posted an operating loss of 9.49 billion Ghana cedis for the 2024 financial year. Despite the sharp deficit, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene tells Citi Business News he's cautiously optimistic the bank could return to profitability within 2 years if current monetary and structural reforms stay on track.
So the losses from the OMO, for me, I do understand. Until Bank of Ghana is well structured, again, to be able to have this there, they will always be making loss. Because they don't have bonds. And they've now been told to do what called zero financing. And if you're doing zero financing, you don't have any gilt edge to support your open market operations, the other rate discounting. Number two, they made a loss too much on the currency. Because last year, the currency was depreciating like Usain Bolt running. The gold business, they were doing forward contract by not doing what we call the forward and spot calculation. So by the time you realize you have bought the thing in $10 million at a certain point, by the time you realize it, you are at 10%, 15%, you have a loss. So Bank of Ghana is in a very difficult situation. It's not going to recover next year. And you can quote me next year. It will take at least another 2-3 years before they can come back to profit.
That was banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene. Next, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, is demanding government clarifies how funds from the energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy will be used, warning that without a clear debt resolution plan, the charge could become a permanent burden on fuel consumers. COPEC says transparency and targeted application of the levy are critical to build public trust and ease cost pressures. Daniel Sakiti reports.
COPEC's position follows a decision by government and other energy stakeholders to postpone the rollout of the levy from 9th June to 16th June. The deferral, Executive Secretary of COPEC Duncan Amwa contends, provides an opportunity for additional consultations with stakeholders amid growing public and industry resistance.
Any attempt to, however, think we should bulldoze our way, we have the power, we will do what we like. It will be the same thing as the e-levy was. I would think that the 1 week window will be utilized or should be utilized by the state to engage and deepen conversations, explain to the people why you are collecting this. But beyond that, you will need to give all of us the assurances that clearly is not another tax we are collecting, for consolidated fund to be applied to anything we want.
Duncan Amwa maintains that the government must use the interim period to clarify the structure and oversight mechanisms for the levy to avoid long-term cost implications for consumers and ensure that proceeds are directed towards settling existing debts in the sector.
When ESLA came, the understanding was that we're going to clear the energy sector debt. As we speak, it's ballooned, beyond the 2.2 that existed. So something ought to give, and we expect that systems will be put in place to curtail the bleeding so that whatever is left to offset or to defray, we can ring fence that and use revenues so generated from taxes and from other mineral or natural resources to help us offset within a period.
Executive Secretary of COPEC Duncan Amwa ending that report by Citi Business News' Daniel Sakite. Away from petroleum to mining now, and the Ghana Chamber of Mines has renewed its quest for the removal of the value-added tax on mineral exploration, warning that the tax is discouraging the investments needed to discover new mineral deposits. The chamber insists VAT on exploration-related expenses threatens the long-term sustainability of the mining sector by deterring fresh capital and hindering reserve replacement. Daniel Odumensa has more.
The chamber noted that its advocacy for tax incentives is to spur more exploration, particularly as global capital becomes increasingly selective and sensitive to regulatory environments, while countries such as South Africa and Morocco have seen increased exploration budgets. Others, including Ghana's peers in West Africa, have suffered cuts due to policy and investment challenges. Ghana recorded a 6.4% increase in its exploration budget in 2024, reaching $106.1 million. However, the chamber believes this momentum could be derailed if VAT on exploration is not scrapped. The call comes at a time when the mining sector continues to be a leading contributor to Ghana's economy, accounting for over 58% of total merchandise exports and contributing 17.7 billion cedis in fiscal revenue in 2024. Michael Akafia is the president of the chamber.
Investment, as they say, is fungible and moves from place to place to find solace where it is most welcome. What has happened in recent times is that we've lost investments to our neighbors, and if you track investment growth, especially in exploration in particular, we've lost investments to Cote d'Ivoire. People have moved from here, there, and so on. And if you look at the cycle of converting something from a fresh green field to, say, actual production, it's almost like a 13-year cycle. And it's a long time to be spending money. And then to have that burden of paying VAT where you don't have any opportunity. You know how, in terms of VAT, it works on the input and output basis.
President of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Michael Akafia, ending Daniel Odu-Mensah's report. Let's move on now, and agri-input expert and founder of the Legacy Crop Improvement Center, Dr. Amos Rutherford Azinu, believes prioritizing the quality and financing of seeds and fertilizers will unlock higher productivity for smallholder farmers. Speaking on week 2 of the Citi Business Festival Honors Series, Dr. Azinu disclosed that poor input quality continues to undermine yields and called for structured financing schemes and stronger private sector collaboration to ensure access to certified and climate resilient seeds.
Agric input is actually, the economy of it is a foundation for successful food production and animal rearing. And that compares all the natural resources or essential resources the farmer needs, like the seed, fertilizer, chemical, feed, irrigation, machines, equipment for land preparation, harvesting equipment or post-harvest equipment. All those are things that the farmer needs. For instance, let's say for fertilizer, for instance, is the one that actually power the plants to grow in terms of nutrition of it. You know, we live in a tropic, and our tropic, most of the soils are lacking in terms of some of the major nutrients and minor nutrients that we need. So the farmer needs seed, the same time he needs fertilizer, the same time he needs irrigation equipment in the area of climate change now. He also needs mechanization machines like the tractor, harvesters, all those things. But at the same time, he needs a storage system. The last one we don't pay attention to is the logistics, because the farmer needs to transport whatever he's harvesting from the farm to wherever the final destination. Those are the things as a farmer you have to take into consideration when you want to go to any agriculture venture.
Founder of Legacy Crop Improvement Center, Dr. Amos Rutherford Zinuth there. The full conversation is later this morning at 9 a.m. on the City Breakfast Show and at 10 a.m. on Channel 1 Television. Later this week on Thursday, we will be hosting a high-level forum on global trade and tariff disputes. The forum is themed the Global Tariffs Dispute, Navigating Ghana's Recovery Strategy. There will be more on this in subsequent bulletins, but a reminder about the Agri Fair also coming up on June 20 through to June 22, 2025 at the Ifwa Sutherland Children's Park, where Agric producers and processors will connect with buyers, retailers, and investors. So you should be preparing towards that, because we are ready to have you. The City Business Festival 2025 is powered by 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV with support from Absa Bank, MTN Ghana, and Zonda Tech Ghana Limited. Well, before I go, let's go to the forex market, and you may not be too happy as it appears the cedi is losing its ground marginally, because you could be getting the dollar sold to you at 12 cedis, the British pound at 14 cedis 50 pesos, and the euro going for 12 cedis 50 pesos. That's how we end today's edition of the Breakfast Business News on 97.3 Citi FM. Thanks for your time. There is more news on citynewsroom.com/business. I'm Neil Atilate. Do have a good business day.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper, so you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no.
But I had to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look. The video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go. Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
14 after 7, 97.3 Citi FM, the City Breakfast Show. And every day people face different emergencies, from fire to medical, money, Emergencies are also part of them, but many people don't know the emergency numbers. That's why I'm letting you save this number, star 770 hash. Star 770 hash is the new EcoBank Money Emergency. With that, you have instant access to loans, funds transfer, utility payments, airtime, data, etc., etc., and you don't even need data for that. There is no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. EcoBank will come to your rescue. Just dial star 770 hash now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank is the Pan-African bank. EcoBank is proud to be associated with the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News, as is MTN. MTN says carrying multiple phones around can be such a chore. Unsightly bulge in your pocket, the extra weight in your purse, stress switching from one phone to the other to pick calls. Imagine being able to switch between different numbers on the same phone easily and seamlessly. Guess what? You can go SIM-less with MTN eSIM and enjoy the convenience of connecting multiple phone numbers to one single phone or device. To check if your device is compatible, simply dial star hash 06 hash. Once you receive an EID number, it means your phone or device is compatible. Simply download the My MTN app today to request your MTN eSIM and enjoy the sweet, seamless life everywhere you go. It's time for Kickoff, and Benjamin Nketia is here. Kickoff is proudly brought to you by Lesheho's Shell and Polytank. Shell says, listen, powerful engines are the backbone of businesses, from construction to mining and delivery, and they can't afford to break down. That's why big engine operators trust Shell Remula R4X with active cleansing technology, specially formulated for both 4x4 and heavy-duty diesel engines. It reduces engine noise, protects against wear and tear, keeps your vehicle running smoothly even on Ghana's toughest roads. With Shell Remula R4X, you can count on long-lasting protection and peak performance no matter the workload. Give your engine the care it deserves with Shell Remula. Next time you service your 4x4 or big engine, use Shell Remula R4X. It's the engine oil that works hard as you. Now the Lesheho Don't Come campaign has come so that you can have financial peace. Life challenges are plenty, but Lesheho helps you face them. From now to the end of the month, we've reduced our interest rates just for you. So whether it's education, rent, or unexpected expenses, the right loan is what you've got with Lesheho Don't Come. So call or WhatsApp Nana on 02700 4799 02700 4733. Lesheho, let's improve life. And listen, Polytank is the water storage tank you need. It's been around for 30 years. All these generations trust it. So make no mistake, always choose Polytank for guaranteed quality. No matter the size you're looking for, durability is assured. And if you visit our Polytank partner shop across the country, you will have it at the same price no matter where. Polytank is the original. The caution is we do not request for Momo payments online. And Benjamin Nketia brings you Kickoff. A bunting brother. What's up?
Charlie, you dress foul.
No, you are dripping.
Don't do that.
No, you're dripping.
Don't do that.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Benjamin Nketia here with Kickoff in the headlines. The second edition of the Thomas Partey tournament begins today. Also in the news, Manchester United finally approached Sporting Club over striker Victor Gyökeres, and Inter Milan appoint Christian Kivu as manager. Now, our show is proudly sponsored by Shell. Shell Go Well, Zonda GH, Polytank Ghana, and Lesheho. Let's improve life. Let's get into the details now. And following a successful inaugural event in December 2024, the second edition of the Thomas Partey tournament is set to begin later this morning at the Tuba Astro Turf. Now, this initiative focuses on identifying, recruiting, and developing young Ghanaian football talent between the ages of 16 to 18. There's more in this report.
That's a bad pass by Foden. Partey's opening up for him. Partey shoots the flex, and then Thomas Partey restores the Gunners lead, 2-1.
The 2024-2025 season has been hailed by pundits as one of Thomas Partey's finest, with the Ghanaian midfielder scoring 4 goals and providing 3 assists in 54 appearances across all competitions for Arsenal. Partey proved integral to Mikel Arteta's squad, playing a key role in the Ghana's UEFA Champions League campaign. However, his future at Arsenal remains uncertain as no contract extension has been announced, with speculations linking him to a potential move to Spain or Saudi Arabia.
Some time back, I made mention of him why he was going to Arsenal, and the Arsenal guys killed me.
So go to Barca, Saudi. Which one would you?
He has to make that decision, and sometimes you see what you think as a fan is not what he's thinking. Show me the money. Show me the money. He's growing. He needs to go somewhere he can have enough money for his future, because now it's not about what he's doing now, it's about his future. You know, how old is he?
I think he's 33.
Yeah, when you get to 33, the next 2 years, they will call you old player.
Back in Ghana, Thomas Partey is dedicated to uplifting underprivileged footballers, aiming to help them reach the heights he has achieved in world football. The second edition of the Thomas Partey tournament kicks off on Tuesday, June 10, 2025 at the Tuba Astroturf. 12 teams selected from preliminary rounds in Accra, Kumasi and Tamale will compete in the group stage on June 10, 11 and 12, with the semi-finals and finals set for June 13. The inaugural tournament in 2024 was a success, with 8 talented youngsters earning trials at top European clubs.
You heard my colleague Bernardo Beko coming through with that report on the Thomas Partey tournament. Let's get to some other stuff. And Chief Executive Officer of Bibiani Gold Stars, Akwesi Edu, has confirmed that head coach Frimpong Manso will remain in charge following the club's historic Ghana Premier League title triumph. Now, Gold Stars sealed their maiden championship in style, hammering relegated Accra Lions 4-0 on the final day to finish the season with 63 points. Now, they also scored 38 goals and conceded just 21 across 34 matches. Now, amid speculation about potential changes ahead of the club's debut run in the CAF Champions League, Edu put the rumors to rest in an exclusive with Citi Sports.
Every like a coach who will give results, and as we speak, Frimpong Manso resource is encouraging, and from looking at the history around the Bibiani Gold Stars since we had our debut season last 4 years, his records this season is better off than his predecessor. So his job continuity should be assured.
So you heard the CEO of Bibiani Gold Stars speaking there. Let's move on to some other stuff and let's head over to Europe right now. And following Ange Postecoglou's sacking despite Europa League success, Sherwood believes that the new coach should be clearly told what success looks like for the club. So let's hear from former Tottenham Hotspurs player Tim Sherwood.
And I think that's where it's let it down. But I would worry for the Tottenham fans, because the new man going in there, what is the objective? You know, the objective is not to win trophies, obviously, because Ange has delivered that. The objective is to be more competitive in the Premier League, which is the bread and butter, where people pay for their season tickets and they go and watch them week in, week out. Well, that seems to be the objective of the board. You need to be quite clear when you're going in there, whoever it may be. There's a lot of managers being touted around. They need to make sure they know what the objective is and what success looks like.
So you heard Tim Sherwood there. Let's move it on to some transfer-related stuff. A new signing for Manchester City, Ryan Aït-Nouri, says he will do all he can to follow in the footsteps of one of City's modern-day favourites, Riyad Mahrez. Now, the Algerian winger enjoyed 5 wonderful seasons with the Blues, playing 236 times and scoring 78 goals at an average of almost exactly 1 goal in every 3 appearances.
Yeah, I speak also with Riyad. I'm with him in national team. It was the same with Mateus. He told me about the city, you know, and he told me to to give everything for this club. It's the bigger club in the world, and I try to follow him.
So you heard Manchester City's new signing Ryan Aït-Nouri speaking there. Let's move it on to some transfer news. And Al Hilal are targeting Arsenal link Benjamin Sesko ahead of the Club World Cup. When you go to Wrexham Football Club, they remain interested in signing Tottenham defender Ben Davies. Now, Man United have finally approached Sporting Club for striker Victor Gyökeres through their intermediaries, and United also plan to return with an improved bid for Brentford forward Brian Mbeumo after an initial rejection. When you get to the camp of Crystal Palace, Jean-Philippe Mateta is hot cake, and he is in contract talks but remains a target also for Juventus and Manchester United. And then finally to the camp of Arsenal Football Club, they have targeted Rodrigo, and Rodrigo is heading to the Club World Cup with his current team, Real Madrid. Let's get to some other transfer-related stuff, this time on the side of managers. And Champions League runners-up Inter Milan have appointed Parma boss Christian Kivu as their manager. Now, the 44-year-old, a former defender and youth team coach at Inter, leaves Parma after only 13 games in charge and replaces Simone Inzaghi. Now, Simone Inzaghi left Inter after their 5-0 Champions League trouncing at the hands of PSG and has taken charge of Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal. Now, Kivu, who has signed a contract until 2027, won 3 league titles during 7 years as an Inter player. Talking about that, Ghana's Tariq Lamptey has signed a 1-year contract extension to stay at Brighton and Hove Albion. Let's finish off with some interesting stuff. And Nottingham Forest have written to UEFA to voice their concerns about Crystal Palace's scheduled involvement in the Europa League next season, saying the Eagles could be in breach of multi-club ownership rules. Now, Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis was himself forced to step aside from day-to-day running of the club when it looked like Forest might qualify for the Champions League, knowing there would be an obvious conflict of interest with the Greek billionaire's other European club, Olympiacos, who had already qualified. So very interesting stuff coming out of Europe and Nottingham Forest. That's all for this morning's edition of Kickoff. I am Benjamin Nketiah. Enjoy the rest of your day.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go, we improve your life. Even when you're stuck with nothing, no matter your situation, let's go, we improve your life. Let's go, we improve your life. Polytank is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get some more Rambo and get some more super. And the Polytank we did for Papa no no, 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 Ankasa. Polytank, the original, always the best.
Where are you headed today? Techiman, Salaga, Aflao, or beyond? At Shell, we believe your true destination isn't just today's journey. It's about where you want your business, your family, and your dreams to be tomorrow. So Shell Rimula is formulated to help you journey better. With anti-wear additives for ultimate protection, Shell Rimula with advanced Protection Plus technology prevents oil thickening and guards against harmful deposits. Shell Rimula oils help your engine start effortlessly in any weather, because when your truck starts, your journey starts. Shell Rimula, the engine oil that works as hard as you. Drive forward. Reach your real destination with Shell Rimula.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Money Matters segment is brought to you by Petra. Petra, achieve more.
Welcome to the Money Matters segment with Petra. In times of crisis like the 2020 pandemic or Ghana's 2022 domestic debt exchange, the market may have dipped, but history shows it always recovers. In fact, the GSE Composite Index rebounded by over 20% within a year after the 2020 crash. Just like the rainy season never lasts forever, market downturns are temporary, and those who stayed invested were rewarded when conditions improved. Trying to time the market is like trying to predict the weather. It's unpredictable, but preparation makes all the difference. At Petra, we help you implement strategies that weather any storm using proven methods that keep you moving forward. Don't let fear steer your decisions. Our expert advisors are here to guide you through volatility so you can focus on long-term growth. Dial *447*70# to speak to a financial advisor today. Petra, achieve more.
The Money Matters segment was brought to you by Petra. Petra, achieve more.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Are you ready to lead like never before?
Ready to master the art of strategy and inspire teams that thrive?
It's the Management Bootcamp 2025.
An exclusive high-impact training for mid to senior pros.
Learn from Ghana's finest industry minds, brought to you by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM.
From the trusted voices of excellence, Citi FM and Channel 1 TV comes an elite training experience designed to sharpen your strategy, leadership, and communication.
Make a date for the Management Bootcamp 2025 from Sunday the 22nd of June to Saturday the 28th of June 2025. The venue is the Platinum Bay and Passion Base Hotels.
Call 0242-011-424 to register now.
The Management Bootcamp 2025. Lead forward. The Management Bootcamp 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM.
Hey there, all enterprise customers. We are rewarding all of you just for standing by us all this while. Simply keep doing the things you've always done with us, like renewing policies, making purchases, and more. The twist though, you have to do them on our self-service portal via web or the Enterprise Advantage app. Once you log into the portal, access Advantage Points and do any of the transactions you're allowed to do there in order to earn points. The more you transact, the more points you earn. The points you earn can be used to redeem loads of airtime, Momo, and other rewards. It's that simple. Just visit the portal, log in, and enjoy. Visit my.enterprisegroup.net.gh or download the Enterprise Advantage app to get started. Enterprise Advantage Points, because nothing you do should be pointless.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Looking for the latest buzz in Ghana's entertainment world? Welcome to Ghana Weekend, your ultimate destination for all things creativity and entertainment.
Stay in the loop with breaking news, exclusive interviews, and then insider stories from your favorite creatives and stars. From music, movies, fashion and art, lifestyle and culture, Ghana Weekend brings it all together. Get a daily dose of entertainment, discover new talent, and never miss out on the creativity that defines our vibrant culture.
Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle Ghana Weekend, on X Ghana Weekend, on TikTok Ghana Weekend, at Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube for the latest in entertainment, travel, and everything Ghana. Don't miss out. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, where entertainment meets creativity. Visit GhanaWeekend.com now.
Rise and shine, it's another day to stay on point. Toast is spread, it's still on point. Watch it spread it all day long. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Watch it spread, it's still on point. For your bread, it's still on point. For your toast, it's still on point. It's yummy delicious, it's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. For your toast, it's still on point. It's still on point. Fortune spread, it's yummy delicious. It's still on point.
Fortune spread, delicious, creamy, and always on point. This advert is FDA approved.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. Baby girl.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Or try again if I hesitate to let you in. Know it to be yourself or play a role. Tell all the boys or keep it low. If I say no, would you turn away or play me off or would you stay? Oh, you don't succeed. Dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again and try again. 'Cause if at first you don't succeed, you can dust it off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again and try again. I'm into you, you into me, but I can't let it go so easily. Not till I see what this could be eternity or just a week. We know our chemistry is off the chain. It's perfect now, but will it change? This ain't a yes, this ain't a no. Just do your thing, we'll see how it goes. Oh, she don't succeed. Yeah. Dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, try again.
7:36. A couple of headlines you missed if you the newspaper review segment we didn't do the international headlines. So the Los Angeles area in the US is it's almost a war zone. Okay, I mean it's quite some turmoil going on there. Chaotic weekend of protests in the US, Los Angeles, as the immigration raids continue and protests against same also heightened. The President of the US has sent in the National Guard to try and maintain order. The governor of California is suing the administration, calling the president's actions dictatorial and deranged. Another story that I wanted to highlight quickly during the review but did not have time. So Ivory Coast former minister Bilon seeks to lead opposition in October votes. We know that the former Credit Suisse chief Tidjane Thiam was excluded from the list of candidates last week. So their former trade minister Jean-Louis Bilon is seeking to represent the opposition PDCI party in the election. We're keeping an eye on that as well. I saw another interesting story just by way of international news that I thought I would just highlight quickly. And this is coming in from... where is this one? Okay, so this one we'll discuss it during Tech and Social Media Trends. The godfather of AI says he fears AI is now unsafe. Canadian computer scientist and one of the godfathers of modern artificial intelligence, Joshua Bengio, has been talking about the need to make AI safer. So we'll highlight that as well later on during the review segment. And then I saw another quick one. I'm just sort of moving quickly around the stories now. So the Ghana situation has two big stories. The nurses' strike is in its 7th day or so. There was a big meeting between the officials of the Ministry of Health and the leadership of the nurses. The government say they are optimistic the nurses will call off the strike, but the nurses are telling us something else. So it's still not clear what is going to happen. We'll bring you some reports from across the country of the effect of the strike on healthcare delivery. Then there's also some, I won't call it, there's also a bit of uncertainty over the transport unions, because on one hand they said that they had withdrawn their threat to strike, but they are saying that they would strike afresh if the levy raises pump prices. So there seems to be some lack of clarity there. So yesterday the COMAC said they wanted 1 week to be ready to implement the 1 CD levy. And the transport unions withdrew their threat to go on strike today, but now they're saying that they are looking at the prices to see what they would do. So we'll bring you some highlights of those two stories shortly. But let's just do two quick birthday requests.
Okay.
Caleb, you can help me.
So my friend Lennon is wishing his wife Abuna Afrakuma a very, very happy birthday. He says a very happy birthday to my incomparable wife, Abuna Afrakuma. I wish God's abundant blessings and favor on you. I love you so much is the message. Good morning. I want to use your medium to wish my husband, Ebenezer Okai Ama, aka Fat Joe, a happy belated birthday. He works as a teacher in the Suhum municipality of the Eastern region. Kindly tell him his Man United didn't lift any trophies this season, but he has always lifted my heart and my soul with his genuine care and love towards myself and our daughter Michaela Akosia Korama. I bless him this morning. This is from Emilia Ajay in Kwabenya. Please dedicate today, do a happy birthday dedication for Keilani Karis Owusu Achiman from her dad and mom and all her aunties and uncles. God bless her and guide her as she grows. This is from your dad Kizito to you, Keilani Karis Owusu Achiman. Happy birthday to Senior Inspector Rita Frimpong of the Ghana Immigration Service Headquarters. May your day be filled with love, laughter, and unforgettable moments on this special day from your colleague Emanuela Womako.
And this one say happy birthday to Patience Adams Brown. Someone is saying that may the Lord God bless you bountifully. And this one says happy glorious birthday to my brother Reverend Samuel Ajika, who works with the Enterprise Computing Limited inside Tema Community 3. Now the family wishes him an extraordinary birthday filled with more blessings and everything that you love. We love you so much and God loves you more. Stay blessed. It's coming in from Stephen Ajika and the family.
We're in week 2 of the City Business Festival, brought to you by Absa Bank and MTN. And this morning we're continuing with our conversations on the Agric sector, understanding the seed and agri-input economy with Dr. Amos Rutherford Azinu. That's at 9 a.m. Brought to you by Absa Bank, MTN, and Zonda Technologies. But at Enterprise, our vision is clear. In all our markets, our pedigree will be recognized, our strength respected, our expertise valued, and our solutions sought by all who desire an advantage in life. That vision came to life at the 9th Ghana CEO Excellence Awards, where Enterprise Group made history. CEO Daniel Labitiku honored Best Group CEO Insurance Sector. Jacqueline Benny of Enterprise Life, Akosia Ansantri of Enterprise Insurance, and Joseph Ampofo of Enterprise Trustees, each named CEO of the year in their respective categories. These recognitions reflect true leadership and your trust. Enterprise, your advantage. Get Translight Solar today and save up to 70% of your electricity bills. Enjoy clean and reliable energy without breaking the bank. No need to pay the full cost upfront. Translight Solar is offering an opportunity to own a complete solar system by paying between 30 to 50% of the cost and spreading the rest over 12 to 36 months with flexible monthly payments as low as 1,200 cedis. Visit our website translightsolar.com or call 025 604 0838. That's 025 604 0838. Translight Solar, wherever there's sunlight, there is Translight. you want to fast track your investment process, take advantage of GIPC's 24-hour premium service designed to speed up investment registration and approvals. Once you submit all required documents and pay, your registration, certificate renewal, and quota application can be processed in 24 hours. No more long waits. Premium service designed with your business in mind. Go to gipc.gov.gh or call 0200 112 204. Don't forget the Africa Impact Summit starts tomorrow the 11th and it's on till 13th. Ghana welcomes leaders from across the continent for the Africa Impact Summit. Hosted by Impact Investing Ghana and Nigeria's Impact Investors Foundation alongside GSG Impact National Partners and Task Forces. This is the biggest platform for deal making on the continent, policy conversations and sustainable development strategies. Whether you're a policymaker, impact or angel investor, entrepreneur or change maker, this is where Africa's future is being built. Register by going to africaimpactsummit.org or call 055 144 9186.
And here's some exciting news from Ashesi University, which has been expanding access over the past years, adding new undergraduate programs and master's programs. Now, Ashesi has introduced a two-intake admission system for undergraduate applicants, so students can start their studies in either a September cohort or a January cohort. It's all part of our goal to welcome more bright minds into the Ashesi community. So remember, applications for both intakes are currently ongoing. Learn more at ashesi.edu.gh. Also, experience the thrill of easy banking with Zenith Bank this season. Enjoy 24-hour access to Zenith Bank's secure digital banking channels from the comfort of your home or wherever you are. Make quick and easy payments with your Zenith MasterCard, Visa card, or EasyPay GH Dual card. Alternatively, simply use the Z Mobile Ghana app, Zenith Internet Banking, or dial *966# to manage your account and everything else you need to do. For a full bouquet of Zenith Bank's digital banking channels, visit zenithbank.com.gh. Call 054 2000 111. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
All right, now let's take you to the first issue, which has to do with the Dumso levy. That's what it's called, right? The energy sector levy that has been introduced, 1 cedi per litre of petrol. Yesterday, we spoke to the chief executive of the oil marketing chamber, Dr. Rivers Inopong. He was on the evening news speaking to Vivian Kailoko, explaining why they were concerned about the apparent rush in putting that law in place and the complexities they would face in implementing same.
Indeed, who are we, a chamber, to, like you said, defy a law that has been passed by a president? But this will explain to you and the public about the fact that we have our own grievances when it comes to the manner and ways this law was being implemented, without stakeholder engagement. So first of all, we had a law passed very, very abruptly, very sharp, and then implementation was going to be over the weekend, which was not right. But indeed, our letter was very straightforward, and we didn't miss words by explaining the impact of passing this law yesterday, taking effect today. And let me say this emphatically, unapologetically, that the fuel prices you see today wouldn't have been the same. Aside the fact that we were going to put our pen and paper down and probably no work and no lift as we plan to do.
So if they had gone ahead with it, you still stand by your earlier assertion that you would boycott working. That's what you're ultimately saying.
No, that's what we're going to do. But again, when we had engagement with the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Energy, GRA, NPA yesterday, they understood where we're coming from. And at the end of the day, we were able to explain to the government today that is the impacts on our members who are already paying 22% of a pump price to the government in terms of levies and costs that is paid to the government. While we suffer to get barely 5%, you understand? From whatever we sell.
Right, but some argue that this is ultimately a tax that will be borne by consumers. Why then is the chamber taking such a strong position? How are your member companies directly affected by this tax? If you can explain that to us.
Fantastic. That's where I was going, and you came in.
Apologies.
So that's fine. So there's something we call cash and carry. Or prepayment. And let me use this opportunity to explain to the public that when fuel prices increase based on commodity or the world commodity price increase, it is totally and entirely different from when taxes are increased. Because what the public don't know, and we need to tell them, is that taxes are prepaid or bonded. Right, and that means that the oil marketing company would need to raise capital ahead of lifting. Let me explain it to the ordinary Ghanaian. What that means that to lift, let's say, 10 of a 58,000 liters capacity of a BRV a day for a week, you were to generate no less than 2 million Ghana cedis yesterday, which is a Sunday. My dear friend, tell me which bank was going to give us that 2 million cedis yesterday to pay GRA today. These were the challenges that we were talking about. And we were already in another window. We're already in a window that is not ending. The window is ending on Friday or Saturday.
So if I get you clear, and for the viewers watching, you have to prepay this tax that is going to be slapped on me to government before you even finish selling.
My members, the oil marketing companies, most of them prepay. Some of them are on bondages that need to contact their insurance companies to top up. You understand? So it is not just straightforward. If it was straightforward, then no problem. Like you said, we will surely pass on the cost to the consumer. Then why is our worry? Our worry is that operationally, financially, we are not ready. That's it.
So based on what you've explained, which is pretty clear about the fact that you need to prepay, is there any room for compromise in terms of boycotting this implementation?
No, we are not boycotting implementation. What we are saying is that give us 1 week to prepare ourselves for the implementation. And like I said, we have come to a consensus today that we will start from the 16th of this month.
Which the government has agreed to in terms of the implementation. So you are okay with that, and you are ready to go ahead with the implementation for the next week?
Yes, so we are still talking to the Ministry of Energy and Finance. We have ongoing discussions, even as we prepare ourselves with our regulator, MPA, who is our economic regulator, ahead of Friday announcement of the new pricing window, how it will look like, and we will share with the public.
So that was Dr. Ivesinopon speaking to Vivian Kailoko. So I think the main problem they had was the speed of implementation and how to be ready to collect the tax, because they would also have to pre-finance the expense. But that has been clarified. The drivers are rather confusing me, because as of yesterday, they are suspending their planned nationwide strike. And they had said that the 1 cedi levy on petroleum products was going to raise transport fares. After a meeting with the Ministry of Transport, they decided to call off this proposed strike. So here's what they said to the Eyewitness News team yesterday. I'll try and find out whether there's an update to this, because I'm reading a story on Channel 1 News this morning that suggests that they are saying that they may go back to the original position if prices go up. The government's argument has been that prices have come down from about 15 cedis per litre to about 12-ish. So the 1 cedi only doesn't take us back to the previous position, which is the defense they're having. So here's what the PRO of the GPRT has been saying in explaining their position.
As we stated earlier, our issues has to do with this one Ghana City levy that is going to be on a petroleum product. That means to us is going to add another money to what we have been paying on a petroleum product at the pump. So when we had that meeting, this is the first question we asked them that quite recently, we were asked to reduce our transport fares by 15%, of which it was based on the reduction on the petroleum product. That is why we did that reduction. And should they also bring another levy, it means that it's going to go up again. But the explanation given to us was that looking at how things are going, the arrangements that they are making on the dollar to the CD and that of the OMC is going to buy the finished product to come and sell to us, nothing is going to change on the pump as we go to buy the fuel. So what they mean was that this one Ghana cedis is not going to change what we buy from the pump. So we said, okay, fine, if that be the case, even the implementation has not been effected. The GRA is saying that by 16th of this month, before that is today's week, before the implementations will start. So as I'm speaking to you now, we know how the petroleum product is being sold at the pump. So what we have to do is to monitor to see if by 16th something change. If nothing changes, like an increment is not being made, then it means that we don't have a case. But if increment is being made, then it means that another money is going to be added to our operational cost. That is where we also have to take our decisions. So that is the main reason why we decided to suspend. We have not called it off. We have not cancelled it, but we have suspended it. Looking at what will happen on next week, 16th of this month.
Okay.
To see that will be a change at the pump or not.
Okay. I have seen a lot of government officials and NDC members draw the attention to many people who are criticizing this levy to the fact that a few months ago you were paying 16 cedis, 17 cedis, at the point it was even over 20 cedis per liter of fuel. They have come to bring it down to you to 11 cedis or so for you, and so if they added one extra cedi on that, you should be grateful.
Yeah. What you are saying is true. I think that is the main reason why we also came out with the reduction of the transport fares. Because, like, supposing, you see, where it went to, that was late December to early January, the fuel price was sold around 16 cedis, and it was calling for an increment of transport fares. But we didn't do that based on the promise that the government did that very soon the price is going to come down. So we reduced it based on where it has gotten to. Happens that we have reduced it based on where it has gotten to, and now after a reduction, we are going to add another, money again. Then that is where our problem lies. And so it's not like, yes, they have done well by reducing the petroleum product. That is why we also reduce, the transport fares as high as 15%. When we met with the transport ministry, the calculation we made, the only reduction was made on only the petroleum product. The spare parts and the lubricants and the taxes, there wasn't any reduction. And if we are to look only at the petroleum product, then it means that our reduction has to do with only 6%, not the 15% we spoke about. But even as I'm speaking to you now, the spare parts are still the same, lubricants are still the same, insurance and other things are still the same. But we still went ahead and do the 15% reduction. So it's not like the government has done us any good. Fuel prices have come down, but we have also reduced it. That is why we are saying adding another tax to it again will give us another operational cost. Then it means that should they know if another thing is going to be added, then we wouldn't have even reduced it to this margin.
So that was the Deputy Public Relations Officer for GPRTU, Samolamwa, speaking to Marusanda Amadu. So it's a wait and see for many. The implementation starts on Monday. And the minority have also been speaking about this. Kojo Ponkroma gave an interview, we'll probably bring you that later on, where he says they will consult other groups because they believe this is midnight robbery. They feel that the way that the levy was brought was hurried and it was not fair to Ghanaians. Now, let's get into tech and social media trends next. Caleb, who's the sponsor?
It's brought to us by Telecel and First Bank, who is embarking on a journey to reconnect with customers who haven't used the account for a while. Would love the opportunity to provide you with a gold standard of banking once again. So please reactivate your dormant account with us. Kindly visit our website and our socials. We have a link provided in the bio page. You go there and you're good to go. Visit any of our branches nationwide also, and we are more than happy to receive you. 0596 921 921 is the number to call if you need help directly. First Solutions at firstbankgroup.com is where you can shoot us an email. Firstbank, you first.
So let's get into the trends. Susu Graham,
good one.
what's
But
trending?
before that, I saw someone sent a message about traffic on the new Spintex road.
Oh,
And I
boy.
wanted to say there was when I was coming to work, there was a broken track.
Oh Lord.
Like, on the Mahama Road, where it goes up and down. There was
Don't have a broken track.
a track with like blocks on it which broke. So there was a bit of traffic.
Is it a
in the
big
morning.
truck?
Oh, it's not a big truck, but it's a truck. It was carrying blocks.
Today, this man also mentioned 3 trucks parked at the wrong place.
Well,
We've spoken to the road safety guy who says they are coming up with a new system to tow the trucks. So I think that's the solution. And one truck can block the whole city.
Yeah, so it was. I was lucky I left a bit early. It wasn't too bad, but I can imagine that people were coming. The traffic is building up, and eventually it's going to make it worse. So
yeah, all right.
Just putting it out there. So tech and social media trends. iOS 26 is trending. So Apple have their, they always have their, what's the word? They have their conference, that they do. They review new features. They do different things. So they are talking about a lot of the new features we are going to see. So again, new iPhones, iOS 26. I think it's more of a joke kind of thing, but the thing is coming up. We're going to see 26.
Okay.
Yes. iOS 26.
That's the operating system.
Yes. It's coming. So people are saying that they cannot really, see what's going on. There's liquid glass. There's different things. The new features. And people always get into the features.
I'll tell you something. Yesterday, somebody bought me a new
iPod,
earpods. Charlie, the features I couldn't even understand. Some features they say even like if I turn my head to the left, something can happen. If I Charlie, this is what I said later. The features they are giving me myself, I don't need the feature. No, Charlie. So I'm sure the features. The people said
they said a lot of the stuff is transparent. There is a bit more transparent. So people are not enjoying the transparency because now I can't
over innovation.
Yeah.
No, maybe it's because we are not schooling ourselves enough to catch up. That's what the problem is. And then also majority of the times we don't even use half the features that are available.
Yeah, but it will solve my problem. I need to make a call and check a few things.
That's all you want.
Now they said there's even one feature on the thing that if I want to reduce the volume of the call, I can do something, and then I can turn my head some way, and then when the something, I said, how do I even remember which side of my head to turn? So I just said later. Let me just take the basic one. Hey!
So unfortunately for Apple,
this device, do you know how much it costs?
How much is it?
Almost $240.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
I use the Sony ones; those are a lot cheaper.
$243.
Yeah, I use the same thing.
You see, the iOS 26 is not being well received. That's the issue. So people are kind of mocking them. That it looks like Windows Vista.
They are tired of them.
It looks. People are not impressed. I'm looking at the new features.
It's way.
Oh, it's not. I mean, innovation.
Maybe to grow on people.
Yeah, it's to grow on people, but people are not too, But you know how it is. Once they update, everyone is going to update their phone. I have to check whether my iPhone can update.
They can even force you to update.
Eventually, some things won't work. So yeah, but
okay.
Look, it's just not being received very well. People are mocking them, and maybe it looks like a bit of a misstep from Apple. But
what else is trending?
We live to see. Yao Asante.
Who is that?
So he was the mechanic who was recently exonerated in the Atai case. Who, he was talking about how he was not an armed robber, but because he fixed cars for Atai, he was kind of implicated, and eventually he was eventually freed, and he was 20? Is it 23 or 26 years?
He served 23.
Yes, he
23
served
years.
a lot of time. So it's kind of, people are talking about, freed after 23 years is in the trend. So people are kind
But
of.
was he freed for mistrial or just pardoned?
So the Court of Appeal found that there was no evidence on record linking him to the crime. So he was essentially convicted for not having participated in the crime he was accused of participating.
Oh, and he's been in prison for how many years?
23 years.
Are they compensating him?
So the Constitution under Article 14 allows for the Supreme Court examining the facts to come to a conclusion that you deserve some compensation.
Charlie, somebody should take it up.
Of course, the lawyers would have to look at it. But the
23 years in prison.
I'm telling you.
For a crime he did not commit.
Yeah, that's right. The only problem was that he was servicing motorbike.
But he's doing his work. He don't really know.
It's not a requirement that when a customer comes to service his motorbike, you should be asking him what he does and all of that.
But this should even lead to a review of the way sometimes police bundle people together
you know,
and throw them into a case.
So in the UK, a commission was set up purposely to deal with a problem like that. So mistrials, miscarriages of justice were happening left, right, and center. Police were planting evidence on people. And when you hear the gentleman's story, he said that when he was arrested, he was telling Anaba that when he was arrested, they made him walk from one part of the...
to Nkoko.
For what?
With handcuffs. And the car was following him.
For what purpose?
Just, the police thought that they could do it. So for shaggy reasons, they
abuse
did it.
of...
And he even said that they made him, go and take some pictures with some of the, apparently the arm robbers wear some amulets.
So they sort of to implicate him.
They made him take some pictures with some of the things.
But the people who did that are still alive. They should
That
get
is
them.
why there would have to be an inquiry into this particular, because elsewhere things like this happen, and then reforms happen.
So it's trending. No, this is terrible.
It's a horrifying story. But the last time this thing happened, someone was killed. I think it was close to 19 years or so that a guy served. He was given 16 years? He was given 350. 35,000 Ghana cedis.
But you see, in America, these things happen and people get 20 million, 10 million.
Yeah, so
they get significant amounts of money in America when these things happen. Because it happens, new DNA evidence comes that shows they were nowhere near. Maybe the fingerprints on the gun don't match them.
No, but I feel like beyond his compensation, the people who deliberately framed him up also need to face the law.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's for that one.
This is terrible. Because you people have been telling us that our criminal justice system, it is better for a guilty man to walk free than for an innocent man to be jailed. I think you say something like that.
That's right.
So how do you do that?
So the justice system is not perfect.
He was incarcerated 4 years earlier before Atai himself was. Yeah.
And he's been in prison for 26 years.
Yeah, that's
23 years.
23 years.
Anyway.
Yeah, so this one is the MPP quote-unquote civil war. We are seeing a lot of people online kind of going back and forth about Kenny Ejepong and Dr. Baumia. It's a very...
That's so it's why like their supporters are...
their supporters are going back and forth. So their names are all over the trends. And because, they've made some statements about, I think a few days ago, Kenny Ejepong said, after losing an election like that...
You shouldn't be rewarded with...
Exactly. So because of that, we are seeing some kind of, back and forth. We are seeing...
Is it healthy or it's quite...
Have you ever seen a healthy back and forth in politics?
No. So it's quite...
It's getting... that's why I said... that's why I put MPP civil war in quotes. Because it's looking like a civil war situation where it's kind of brothers in arms are kind of going at each other over the leadership. So it looks like the leadership race is early.
It's surprising. I'm surprised, Kai. This is 6 months in.
It's disturbing. I don't think they are reading the mood of the country.
I don't know whether it's because the election victory.
I think
because the defeat was so serious, and I was thinking that they would do some internal soul searching and sort of fence.
But when the defeat is so shocking, it's like, how can we lose like this? So it's like everyone is lashing out and trying to blame everyone.
So it's part of the process.
I think it's part of the healing process.
I think the NDC handled it better. they commissioned an internal report which was done. They looked at it. They didn't tell
Pascal, the parties are different. And MPP and NDC, MPP's history is of free speech. Let me free my mind. So, you can't tell people what not to say. An MPP man can say, hey, Bassa, put me on air, let me also speak my mind. So as he said, maybe it's part of their healing.
But this is more like, but what we are seeing is more like, you can't serve one master, so everybody will choose their on
Yeah.
that day. Everyone
Yeah.
will choose their, and that's what we see. It
People
seems
are
to be
arranging
happening on
themselves.
they are arranging themselves on social.
Concentrate on rebuilding the vehicle.
But who is the center to do that?
No. You
Who is going to do that?
No,
way?
The party leadership.
No,
Which is the leadership?
The headquarters. What's the name of that? Is it Asylum now?
No, sometimes you need these things for the leader to emerge.
But even
So until the leader emerges, that's the saying. Sometimes you storm before you norm and then you perform. So this is a stormy
But you see,
stage.
there's all sorts of things because you have Nyaho Tamaklo saying he can't see leadership, and they say, that's what you are saying. You are removing you as a founder. So there's a lot of
all kinds of things are going on.
So I think it's part of. I think it's just the shock of this
Yeah.
has happened. We need
Yeah.
to kind of go over it. So
Yeah.
I think it's part of their healing process.
Yeah.
So they will heal as we all say.
Maybe the
a healthy
maybe the
opposition is good
parliamentary
for
group,
Ghana,
the
so-
parliamentary group, I believe, are in a pole position because they have the prominence and they deal with the national issues, but they also don't have the clout to call to order some of the people in this race.
Because they themselves are divided.
Bro, you continue.
Yes, and then we'll talk about Ghanaian artists doing big things. So Molly Music, she
Alright.
has the hit song "Shake It to the Max." I'm sure those of you on TikTok, you've heard the song. Maybe Abeku can maybe play it for us. "Shake It to the Max." I'm sure
Okay.
maybe you've heard this. And she performed at the BET Awards. She was on there. She's the first Ghanaian artist to do that.
I
so-
saw something about one of our artists as well. Is it Jackie?
Yeah.
Okay.
She had been giving some
Forbes 30 under
Forbes
30,
something.
Okay, Forbes 30
yeah,
and
Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
She and Darlington Akogo.
Yes,
on that
two of the
particular
two Ghanaians on that list.
Yeah,
So-
she said she's single and still searching, by the way.
Hey.
Who said that?
okay.
Jackie.
I thought she was single but not searching.
No, I thought she said she was.
Rather, I think you are Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, so, and
Can you-
like
you
you
know-
said, you brought up the tech news, so we'll go to what you said
yeah.
about
So
the AI.
so
thing. Let's
so
go to
guys,
that.
finally on tech news here, I saw a story that is quite disturbing for me. This is the second person in the field of AI, highly respected AI people complaining.
The
You know,
Canadian guy.
yes. Initially, it was a British guy who also complained. Now, Canadian computer scientists and one of the godfathers of modern AI, Joshua Bengio, has essentially been saying that if we don't,
Rein in.
yeah, he launched a new non-profit organization dedicated to developing a new AI model specifically designed to be safer than other AI models and target those that cause social harm. And FBI always already doing an investigation which revealed two men suspected of bombing a fertility clinic in California last month allegedly used AI to obtain bomb-making instructions. The FBI did not disclose the name of the AI program in question. Now, this brings to sharp focus the urgent need to make AI safer. Currently, we are living in the wild west era of AI, where companies are fiercely competing to develop the fastest and most entertaining AI systems. Each company wants to outdo competitors and claim the top spot. This intense competition often leads to intentional or unintentional shortcuts, especially when it comes to safety. Right? Then this development came in when Joshua Bengio launched a new non-profit AI dedicated to developing a new model designed to be safer. And in 2018, Bengio, alongside his colleagues Jan LeCun and Jeffrey Hinton, won the Turning Award for groundbreaking research they had published 3 years earlier on deep learning. This was the beginning of AI as we know it. Right? Now, he says the model that he's developing now will be honest and not deceptive and incorporate safety by design principles. Now, he says this AI will differ from current AI systems in two key areas because he says some of the AI systems now, they short-circuit the safety process and people are manipulating and using it for all nefarious purposes. So it's something that's of concern.
I agree with the concerns he's raising about the lack of safety in some spaces. But then it is the same thing that undermines what people call free expression. So that if it is possible to use AI safely to do useful things for society, the same way you find people using it for all kinds of very nefarious
But you are supposed to put, so if somebody can go use AI to obtain information to build a bomb.
They are those, you can find that information on YouTube. Go on all the platforms.
No, but the precision with which AI did it is the problem. So the issue is not. But for me, I think the people who build the thing, if they come and tell you that the thing, we need to watch it. We have to listen to them. These are the guys who they are the godfathers of the thing.
Yeah, so
two of them have spoken now.
You see, I identify with that, but I'm just saying that you see, regulation often stifles You know,
I mean, innovation is going far. There's no problem with innovation.
There are people who are using vehicles to kill people in the streets of Europe.
Sky, we are not saying I should be banned. The nuance in the argument is that the intense competition is making people overlook safety.
Yes.
So he's saying he's developing a model which will make it safer. There are some AI systems that are being used that don't incorporate that, which is something we should look at.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that we should hasten slowly with this whole business of regulation.
We should rather hasten slowly with what you are doing. In fact, if there's anybody who hasten slowly, it's the innovators who hasten slowly.
Oh, no. But we can't kill innovation. We should not kill innovation.
But no one is
Guy,
killing.
nobody
Just say make it safe.
How does somebody saying they should put safety in AI mean they are killing innovation? How do you jump from safety to killing innovation? It's a long jump. It's like triple jump world record.
In fact, that's even scary that they feel like they can't innovate without making us.
No.
When you read their arguments in the round, right, you come to a certain conclusion
that
they are afraid that AI is developing too quickly and lack of supervision, and that states should come in and regulate.
So maybe you could say, let's think about the way to regulate. But the need, see, there's two things. We can agree that there's need for better regulation and disagree on the approach to use. But you cannot sit here and tell me that with what is going on, you don't think there's need for some type of regulation.
So I said that there was need for regulation.
So let's just leave it there.
So you see, we went to Paris recently.
To go and do what?
Even the world could not agree on how to regulate.
So let's keep discussing that. But let's agree that we need to regulate.
But what form of regulation?
Good. That can be the second leg of the argument. But you agree that we need better regulation.
I said that.
Okay, then that's enough for me for today. That was Tech and Social Media Trends.
Since 1894, we've witnessed the evolution of a brand and proudly partnered with its people on the path to prosperity. From the ink-stained ledgers of the past to the lightning-fast transactions of today, First Bank has consistently adapted, embracing innovation while cherishing the legacy of our heritage and making giant strides across the globe. It's not just about banking, it's about enabling your success generation after generation. Our legacy defined the past, shaped the present, and in 2094, we will still be fostering financial security and stability for future generations. We are helping to create a future where the possibilities are infinite, the opportunities borderless, and where the world looks up to Africa. Let's awaken the giant in you. You first. First Bank.
Auntie T, abeg, fix me go betete Ghana. No garri, no oil, no plantain, just beans then eggs.
Hey, bruh, that be dangerous combination, no?
Problem no day. I fit handle am.
For Telecel, we the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, you fit get your own data and call packages. Fala! Made For Me bundles like the way you the want town. That *530# then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Did you know that worms take away nutrients from the food you eat? Just listen to them.
Brothers, yesterday the food nice, huh?
Oh yeah, the choba woman there, she did try wa.
Charlie, something come on, it be food.
It did taste like banana.
Eh, make a taste some. Make me try a taste, make a taste. Hey, something is doing me.
Something is doing me too.
Oh, it be Vermox.
Vermox banana flavored dewormer is available in both suspension and tablet and is suitable for children and adults. It's good for you, bad for worms. Not recommended for children under 2 years and pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel 1 TV invites you to exhibit at Agric Fair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery? This is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. Come one, come all. Enjoy the freshest farm produce at unbeatable prices. And treat yourself to sizzling kebabs made from beef, mutton, pork, chicken, and more. Great taste, great value. Don't miss out. The AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by the Ghana Exim Bank, Legacy Crop Improvement Center, Development Bank Ghana, Agri Impact Limited, and the Horticulture Business Platform. Our technology partner is Farmerline.
Hello, I am Teacher Jane. Are you Eric's mom?
Yes.
Well, today in class, he kept challenging me about a certain point for more than 5 minutes.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry, Mommy. I love his confidence. Our world needs more people who can speak up. So well done.
Oh, thank you. Confident, curious kids will change our world. Nido is specially formulated with iron, vitamin C, and A. Nido, your love, their future. This advert is FDA approved.
This June, the business wave is back and it's bigger than ever. The Citi Business Festival 2025 on Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, where it's all about business. This June, we will be celebrating Ghanaian businesses, re-examining our business modules and practices through our business fora, and sharing knowledge through our on-air business discussions. Make a business date with the on-air series every weekday at 9 a.m. on the Citi Breakfast Show on 97.3 Citi FM and 10 a.m. on Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 TV. From expert interviews to real-world insights to the tools you need to grow. Don't miss a single moment this June. It's the Citi Business Festival 2025, celebrating everything business. Only on Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. Your business, your future, your time is now. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and let's grow together. The Citi Business Festival 2025, celebrating everything business.
The Citi Business Festival 2025 is powered by 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, and it's proudly sponsored by Absa Bank, MTN Business, and Zonda Tech Ghana Limited.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302-246319 or 0302-246644. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
so oh you wild oh. Oh by if you be the jack man ya bro. Hey, me say me want from what the kwasi akeka san and this what in the tent. Araba so ko talk bele. What jeja homa command the call. Them a katika and let it go. Tia so me a quad wire. But wine. I say me so to the pin now the common wine. Want to be a fakoto. I am wine. She go me a poma. Wakobo over. Brassy casting nova. Kitty kitty. Yenga me come black star. Mr. P.O.P. Who register your pump. One up blaster. Disaster.
23 minutes past 6. Lord Kenya in the background. Welcome to Seamless Banking with Prudential Bank's mobile app. Perform instant transactions, link your mobile money wallet, scan GHQRs to pay, manage your cards, transfer money between banks, and do so much more. No more banking hours. Experience simple, secure, and convenient banking wherever you are 24/7. Download the PBL mobile app now from the Apple Store, the Google Play Store, and Huawei App Gallery. Visit the Prudential Bank website or social media platforms for more. Prudential Bank, truly dependable. Volkswagen Ghana is offering Virtuous Highline Saloon, the T1 Life, which is an SUV, and the Amarok pickup at the used car prices. Walk into any of our retail outlets with your used car budget and you may drive out a brand new car. Call or WhatsApp VW on 025-795-6688. We have a range of models including the Allspace, the Terramont, and the Amarok pickup. Drive VW, drive Ghana. Hurry while stocks last. T's and C's apply. The Office of Registrar of Companies is issuing this final reminder to all registered business owners, companies, directors, and secretaries that there will be no extension beyond Friday, 30th June, deadline for the filing of annual returns and renewal of business names. This was an earlier press release issued 14th April, which announced the said deadline and urged all defaulting companies and businesses to comply. If you fail to comply, there's a penalty of 1,000 cedis and other additional fees. Now, also, the Office of Registrar of Companies does not operate any Momo account. Therefore, disregard any such request for Momo payment. For further inquiries, call 0302 666 081. That's 0302 666 081. ORC, a trusted partner for business.
Now, a smarter, faster, and more secure way to manage your finances is here with the award-winning Fab mobile and internet banking solutions. Banking is now easier, faster, and more convenient than you think. Join the Purple Bank today and feel the Purple experience where convenience meets innovation. It's easy, safe, and secure. First Atlantic Bank is 2 times Digital Bank of the Year in a row. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. Hey, food lovers, let me let you in on a little kitchen secret. You know one of the ingredients that can make your stews and soups taste great? Yep, Gino tomato mix is thick, red, and rich, just the way you like it. Gino tomato mix is your go-to for that unique blend of tomato concentrate, fiber, and essential vitamins that makes every meal pop with flavor and color. With Gino tomato mix, you can never go wrong. So go on, make your next meal unforgettable with a thick, red, and rich Gino tomato mix, because Gino truly cares. Now create unforgettable memories. Transform your living space, your bedroom, into a sanctuary with our stunning selection of sofas, couches, dressers, dining sets, center tables, and a wide range of beds and mattresses and other home soft furnishings. This season, shop and save up to 30% discount and discover the perfect blend of style, comfort, and affordability at Ashfom's exclusive furniture promotion. The number to call is 0243 200 729. 0244 642 481. Don't forget, there is a 30% discount on selected products. Delivery to your doorstep is free as well. Just be mindful of internet first. Terms and conditions apply. Ashform, feel it, know it.
All right. So I wanted to take you around the country quickly on the effect of the strike. I'll do that, and then I'll find out what can be done for the man who was wrongly jailed, because that story is really sort of worried me. But here are quick reports from various hospitals around the country about the effect of the nurses' strike. We start with the Accra Hospital.
At the usually bustling Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Monday saw a stark reality: empty corridors and no nurses or midwives inside. Patients who turned up had to endure long waiting times as overwhelmed doctors juggled clinical roles and responsibilities usually handled by nurses.
If this thing continues, it's the patients or the public who suffer. It's not the nurses, it's not the government. So we are just appealing to both sides to spool the peace pipe and let things go on.
Hospital management confirmed the immense pressure being placed on the medical officers.
The seats here are empty, and on a regular day we receive over 200 patients. Today being a Monday, and it's all because of the strike. The nurses are striking, we are all away. So the doctors around are doing their best. They have stepped in to attend to some of the patients. The fact is that they are overwhelmed because combining both the services rendered by the nurses, in addition to what they do, it's not an easy task.
A similar picture unfolded at the Dabraka Polyclinic. While some patients received attention, there were concerns about the failure to take basic vital signs as essential parts of patient assessment and care.
My problem is they have not taken my vitals, so I'm still worried about that. Because sometimes that one is also important, to take the vitals of the person before you know what you can arrange for him. But they have not taken my vitals. So that is why I'm very, very worried.
In Koforidua, the situation took a tragic turn. At the Eastern Regional Hospital, a newborn from a set of twins reportedly died shortly after birth, an incident attributed to the absence of midwives. Nursing mothers who spoke to Channel 1 News expressed fear that the situation could worsen if the strike persists.
My baby, for instance, is just like few weeks to 6 months. Very, very fragile. The least mistake and she's going to go off. So it's kind of very, very tough for us, honestly, very, very, very. And if the strike honestly continues from today up to tomorrow to 72 hours, I'm sure we'll be losing a lot of babies in the incubators. We'll be losing a lot. I remember I was there when they brought their twins, and one died. I think it was one of the night nurses actually helped in handling the case, but I think it was too late. We are really, really scared. We are really, really scared. Honestly, I've not had a sleep for more than 12 hours.
In the Ashanti region, the strike's impact is intensifying. Some doctors at major facilities are reportedly turning away patients, saying they cannot operate without nursing support.
I went to the scan section and they said that the nurses are on strike, so we can't do. So we have to go back home and wait till this strike, everything is over.
The whole teaching hospital in the Volta region also presented a grim picture with an empty emergency ward and a nearly deserted outpatients department due to the withdrawal of services.
It's very frustrating. I came here around 5:30 a.m. today and I'm now leaving now 1 p.m., 12 p.m. At the facility, the nurses are not working. The ones you see too are individuals who are charitable enough to come in moftis to assist the doctors in the process and the rotation nurses who are freshly posted here. So it's very difficult accessing healthcare.
In northern Ghana, the effects are even more severe, despite doctors stepping in to perform basic nursing tasks such as wound dressing. Patients continue to bear the brunt of the ongoing industrial action.
Actually, the strike is affecting the patients in the world. Like this morning, my wound was supposed to be dressed, but it hasn't been done. And then also 10 o'clock medications haven't been served, vitals haven't been checked.
It's past 12.
Yes, there's no nurse around to actually do anything. Some were supposed to go to theater today. They couldn't go because there's no nurse to prepare them to go to theater. So it's affecting us a lot. The government has to step in and listen to the plea of the nurses. If not, that very soon you start losing lives here.
In the Bono and Ahaf regions, hospital administrators are reportedly exploring contingency plans to minimize the strike's impact and keep essential services running.
It's actually a very difficult situation for us. As you can see, the whole ward is empty. We had to let every patient go, especially those that are stable. It's just one patient I have here who is critically ill. And she came in way before the strike was announced. She's been with us for almost 2 weeks now. And she's the only one we are managing for now. I have only one nurse with me who is helping to take care of the child till we manage to discharge her before she also joins the strike. All the other nurses are at home. Nobody showed up.
However, as the St. Anne Catholic Hospital in Damango's Savannah region, nurses and midwives were seen at post, the hospital matron, Frances Salia, explained that their workers fall under the Christian Health Association of Ghana, which has a policy prohibiting strike action.
Because of our unique situation, for the mere fact that we are working with the CHAC facility, we try to encourage our people to still stay and then give care to the vulnerable. So I think that is just what we are doing. We are not in a way maybe forcing the staff to work at all costs, but maybe through encouragement and then maybe because of the orientations that we have been given, they have come to understand. They have come to understand that yes, they need to take care of the sick.
So that was the Greater Accra regional situation. Let's take you now to. No, that's a national report. Yes, well rounded. Sorry. Let's take you to the Vice President of the Ghana Regional Association, Samuel Akogo, who spoke to Marusanda Amadu about their meeting with government and where they stood with the strike.
Can anybody see that nurses and midwives in Ghana are being treated as essential care service providers?
My question would be, government is a continuum, we know that, but this is a new government. Would you say you have really given them enough time, this new government, to deal with this issue, considering that they have 4 years, and so 6 months may not be a fair and sufficient enough time for them to continue with what was negotiated or started by the previous government? Do you think you have actually given them enough time?
Yes, I would say yes. And this is where sometimes the general public think we are playing politics. As I illustrated earlier, the government was put on notice that these conditions of service is not implemented. So they had enough time to factor it into the budget. When did they read the budget? And we knew, because we understand how governance structures work, that is why we followed that level. And those who are quick to say that, oh, this government is just new, and then we waited, and sometimes they even make it look like we're romancing the previous government and didn't say anything, and just waited till this government comes into power. Then we began to flex our muscles.
It's not justified. Everything points to that, doesn't it? Don't these things point to that?
It doesn't. There is no justification to think that we are pushing the government. Government is the continuum. We don't deal with governments. We deal with employers. The Ministry of Health is our employer. And at the negotiation, all stakeholders were present. Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Health, the TAC institutions, teaching hospitals, they all had representatives there. Why were they there? They were there to carry back whatever responsibility that is placed on them under the conditions of service.
Okay. What was the offer that the government put on the table today when you met, and why did you reject that offer?
Sadly, Sheikh Omaru, we got there, and what we are told is that because of the budgetary constraint, they are unable to implement our conditions of service. But they will just approve it so that implementation will start in 2026. Meanwhile, other professionals within the health sector started enjoying DS since last year, and we are now asked to wait until next year. Is it fair? Are we being treated as essential service providers? We also gave a counter proposal. He said, yes, of course, yes. We know the government is doing well, trying to help rebuild the economy in such a way that all of us will enjoy. At least we've seen some of the fruits. Fuel is coming down. It has even come down. The exchange rate has gone better. At least we give kudos to government for that. But that doesn't mean that we should go and sleep hunger. We should continue the frustration because somebody failed to do his work to incorporate our collective bargaining agreement into the budget. So we said, okay, let's implement it now. Then whatever areas that are there, we can partition it. So for instance, we can make it 3 months. When you pay June, you add last year's 2 months or 3 months. You pay July. In that way, we should be able to clear it by next year. Another proposal they wanted to put across is that the condition of service is almost 1 year gone. So we should just assume that it has just started so that it will end at a later date, maybe 2027. But that is what, the public see. They think we are just people who are only interested in ourselves. We are the only people who goes to work, smile at the workplace and get home to cry. Because patients die in our hands because of lack of logistics. Listening to this, can we go back and tell our members that let's do ABCD?
So that was the Vice President of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Samuel Alakora Akologo. So they believe the government is at fault and they are digging in, right? The strike continues. Now, the Ministry of Health, however, says it's hopeful that the nurses will call off their strike. This following the meeting that they held with the leadership of the nurses. Although the group rejected government's proposal to implement the collective bargaining agreement in 2026, Tony Goodman, who's spokesperson for the ministry, says he's confident the staff standoff will be resolved soon.
Calling for this meeting for some time now, and thankfully the nurses have yielded to the Honorable Minister's request and have come to the meeting today. Today we were looking at them giving us assurance that they were going to call off the strike because government has made some proposals to the nurses and they have told us that they want to go back to their council to have a discussion and then they're going to come back to us. So we hope that by close of the day, these nurses will come back to tell us that they've called off the strike because we in the Ministry of Health have shown a good faith to actually facilitate this particular meeting so that we can have a resolution to this matter. The reason why we are doing all of this is because we want Ghanaians to go to hospital and receive care. There's a matter solely in the ambit of the Ministry of Finance and then the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. But we believe that as they are going on this negotiation, it is important for us in the ministry to create an enabling environment for them to meet and have some negotiation. So this is what we have done today.
What happens if they are unable to, or they come back and then the proposals that you gave them, they want something else?
Yeah, we have both. We are open to any proposal they may also come back with. Don't forget, I said today on your channel that we are open to any discussion. We are not saying that whatever position we are holding is what they should take. They may also have their own position. We will look at it and see where necessary we adjust. That is what negotiation is about.
But in the case they come and they still stand by the strike, they still stand, what will be the next level?
We are really sure that they are not going to go on this strike or go continue on this strike, because the proposals made and then what they have also proposed during the meeting are all, I would say that they are all the same. And then I'm sure when they go, they will just look at the odds and then look at what is proper in terms of this particular negotiation and come back to work.
So that was Tony Goodman. Meanwhile, the strike continues. Here are some comments coming through on the protracted, I think we can call it protracted, it's been over a week now, so, or close to a week now. And these are nurses. So essentially, without nurses, hospitals cannot function appropriately. There's really nothing going on there. Even though doctors are on duty, the nurses really run the place, so that it's going to be very difficult for any of these hospitals to function appropriately. All right.
Bernard and team, please tell the nurses on strike that it is not the powers that be that will bear the brunt of their strike, but the ordinary citizens out there. Let them be aware that those with the power have the means to immunity against the persecution of strike by the health workers. Sometimes sacrifice is a hallmark of professionalism. Let the Ministry of Health, Finance, and the Labour Ministries be aware that their insensitive posture to the demands of the health workers is an indirect punishment to the ordinary citizens. There has to be a quick meeting between the two parties to fix this mess of a strike. Yakubu Ibn Chambers sent that from Accra. Honestly, a lot of the allowances need to be relooked at. All sectors of the public service actually is not about being, I'm not against nurses, far from that. It's about being honest about what the state can realistically sustain and what will actually improve our health system in the long run. Take the uniform allowance, for instance, 1,000 cedis a year. Sure, nurses need to look decent and all that, but there is very little accountability on whether this allowance is even used for that purpose. Most other professions buy their own work clothes. Why not structure it as a one-time support package for new entrants instead of making it annual? Send that through.
Do you have any details of what the 2024 agreement entails? I think it will help us to know some of the specific demands.
Yeah.
Of course, from outside it may not or seem reasonable, but at least for the public to know what the issues are.
So on page 57 on the collective agreements appendix A, we've seen some of it. There is acting allowance.
Okay.
That is the difference between the acting officer's salary and the minimum salary point of the acting post.
Okay.
Or 20% of monthly basic salary.
All right.
Whichever is higher. There is additional duty allowance. 10% of monthly basic salary. Overtime allowance. Working days 1.5 times. Weekends and public holidays double the time.
Okay.
So call in allowance. That's 10% of basic salary. Commuted overtime allowance. 20% of basic salary. There is one I don't really understand, but I'm sure they can explain to us better. Height or depth allowance.
Height or depth allowance.
Yes. So that one is from 30 to 40 meters. 41 to 60 meters, 61 to 85 meters, and the figures vary from 8.80 per day, 4.20 per 4.2 Ghana cedis a day and all that.
Okay.
I'm still getting some clarity.
But at
on
least
that
some of the ones
particular
you've
one.
read,
Yes.
acting allowance, I suspect if you are
Acting position when someone is away.
acting for the person.
Exactly.
Additional duty, I think, is basic. We understand
Overtime
that.
allowance.
Overtime is also
call
there.
in allowance.
What does call in allowance
I
mean?
guess when you are not on duty or
Yeah.
there's an emergency, you
Something
are
like
called
this.
in.
Okay.
Yeah. And then commuted overtime allowance.
Okay.
But there is the tools allowance.
Tools allowance.
That's 7 Ghana cedis per working day.
A tool.
Yes.
Okay.
There is traveling expense allowance.
Okay.
So 7 tons at STC rate
Mhm.
or any transport company appointed by government.
So maybe if they are moving for, I think they were saying something about moving from outside their place of residence to another place.
Precisely. Traveling.
If they don't have cars
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
There is physically challenged guide, daily minimum wage for 27 days,
Mhm.
physically challenged transport, 20% monthly basic salary.
Okay.
Okay, so there is local trips, that is night or out of station allowance.
Okay.
For local trips.
Mm.
This one, if you're chief director or chief executive,
Mhm.
is 490 Ghana cedis per night.
Okay.
If you're coordinating director or deputy chief executive or HOD,
Mhm.
420 per night.
All right.
For directors, 350 per night.
Mhm.
Senior staff, 280 per
Mhm.
night. Junior staff, 210, and it's all inclusive. Where accommodation or meals are provided, the rate abated by 1/3.
All right.
So trekking officers who are trekking, not exceeding 12 days in a quarter
Okay.
for full overnight allowance.
Mm.
There is that calculation as well.
People still do trek.
Mm.
I didn't know.
So for your foreign trips,
Mhm.
it's government approved rate.
Mhm.
And then warm clothing. When you travel, you need warm clothing. So like next time I go beyond borders, I ask for warm clothing allowance. There's a government approved rate for that.
Mhm.
There is day trip allowance.
Okay.
From chief director to junior staff is range from 105 Ghana cedis
Mhm.
to 245 Ghana cedis.
Per diem.
Then there is vehicle maintenance allowance.
Okay.
So for your car,
Mhm.
210 Ghana cedis per month.
All right.
If you're using a motorbike, that's 70 Ghana cedis per month.
Mhm.
And for those who use gasol, it's 20.
Bicycle.
28 Ghana cedis per month.
Okay.
Now kilometer allowance.
Mhm.
3 cedi 50 pesos for the car,
Mhm.
1 cedi 40 pesos for the motorbike.
I'm told the depth and length allowance is the distance you are sent to.
Oh, okay.
So,
I have a question, not to
Yeah.
kill off. Why are there so many allowances rather than just increasing
the basic salary.
your basic salary so it goes
Take care
into
of-
your SNIT and that kind of stuff?
So I think that's a very good question. I could answer it in two ways. I'm just speculating at this point. I think because of what they call relativities, so there's lecturers, there's teachers, there's nurses, there's doctors, and every different profession has different things they do. So I think that the profession gets its pride of place in the allowance, because the allowance is what defines the uniqueness of your job. I think that could be one. But it's a good question, because if your allowances are so many, it may affect your basic contribution for your pensions. Because if you have so many allowances and a small basic salary, you sort of, the base that they use to calculate the pension is lower. So it is not advantageous to you. I don't know whether that was what the single spine wanted to solve. I think I don't even want to get into that discussion. It's so complicated. But it's a very good question.
Yeah.
Hopefully the people who understand labor law will explain. Any more allowances?
Yes, there are a few more, if not much more.
Mhm.
Okay, so beneficiaries are to publish their research findings and apply same to teaching and learning. This is agreed rate agreement. Okay, let me.
Does this got to do with like...
book and research? I think.
No,
it's- no,
Caleb,
sorry.
They're talking nurses.
No, wait. There is that the following items were agreed upon in the stated manner. 1. Book and research allowance. So government approved rate to apply per year.
Hold on.
Beneficiaries are to publish
Hold
their
on.
yeah.
Are we talking about nurses here?
Yeah.
Be sure.
Yes,
Because
yes.
book and research allowance has to do with...
This is page
lectures.
59. Okay, let me start from the top and get there. So this is appendix B
Of what document?
of
The nurses
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the nurses
unless the nurses
they
are
also
doing,
have to keep up with
but because you haven't said anything about further
let me
education
explain.
allowance.
There's eligibility here.
Okay.
So nursing tutors with PhD and masters, that is
Okay,
research in degree awarding public health.
Okay. So nursing who are teaching. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So there is
but that's part of the agreement.
Yes, please.
Okay.
There is funeral grant. Employee 2,100 Ghana cedis. Spouse 1,400 and child 1,400, all inclusive.
So this is for a person who loses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There is medical subsidy. Employee, spouse, and 4 children of 18 years.
And how much is the
below
subsidy?
To be covered. Payment of 50% of the cost of management of the illness not covered by NHIS.
Not bad.
So they say refer to section 21.1 for the nurse and midwife. And where a child is above 18 but below 23 years and is still in school, he or she shall be covered by the medical scheme.
Okay.
There is another one here. So uniform allowance.
Okay.
Payment of 1,000 Ghana cedis per year.
Mm.
And that covers all nurses and midwives in the public sector.
Correct.
There is fuel allowance. 180 liters at the rate of 10.99 or at the applicable government approved ex-pump rate.
So at this point it will be 12 point something.
Yeah.
1.8 something liters. Is it per month?
Wait, the allowance is 1.8 liters.
No, 188 liters.
188 liters.
Yeah. Is that what you read? 180 something liters.
Yes, 180 liters at the rate of 10.99.
Correct. That's a lot.
I'm doing my calculations.
Well, this is for the principal nursing or
yeah, so these are for different
in public sectors above.
These are for the big people.
Analogous grade.
Go on.
So non-basic allowance, 8% of monthly basic salary. So this is for all nurses and midwives in the public sector. Number 5 is on-call facilitation allowance, 5% of monthly basic salary. And the eligibility is nurses and midwives in the public sector who work in understaffed facilities and are required to work beyond the normal 8 hours. Number 6 is rural incentive allowance. This is to be paid as contained in the final document.
You've mentioned almost 15 allowances. And meanwhile, there's also nursing training allowance.
There is 13th month allowance.
Oh my God.
That's 1 month basic salary for all nurses and midwives to be paid at the facility level on a yearly basis.
Are you
and
serious?
eligibility is all nurses and midwives in the public sector. Continuous professional development support.
Oh boy.
This is annual professional license renewal fees and required continuous professional development to be paid by the employer as contained in the collective agreement.
Wow.
And this covers all nurses and midwives in the public sector.
You've counted almost 15 allowances, if I'm not mistaken. Because it's quite a lot. And not all apply to all the nurses, but at least there's a lot of it. Wow. So this was what was agreed in 2024, which they expect to be implemented, and the new government doesn't want to move ahead.
Because they say they have economic reasons, right? That cannot go ahead.
It's not easy.
The allowance out.
The allowance are plenty power. But Susu's question is a legitimate question. Why don't they just ask for like...
so these are about 28.
Which don't apply to all, but they should just have like a basic salary
all.
percentage increment across the board, and then reduce allowance to like 3 or 4. Because there are just too many allowances.
I get that.
Because do you know what that also means? There could be corruption in the financing place. So if, for example, your accountant is the one who's supposed to calculate your eligibility for these allowances, right? And if there are 28, let's assume there have been 14 allowances. How do they verify and audit to show that Susu deserves this allowance because he's gone here, he has the evidence that he did what was supposed to have been done? It's like, it's too complicated.
I can understand the ones about travel and stuff. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
like, okay, you've been moved from here to here. I get it. But some of these, I think clothing, just, I feel like if you just increase their salary.
Maybe the next guy, maybe we should ask, you see, our interviews have been focused on the strike and what he said, she said. Maybe the next leg should be focused on the substance of the disagreement, which is what Caleb is doing now. So if I get a nurse to explain to me whether
I think someone sent a message
to explain this.
He explained it yesterday.
Who?
Kobe Blay.
Okay, what did he say?
I think
the audio we played.
Yeah, that's right. That they are not really new
what do you call it, allowances, except that I think a few of them, I think one or two or so items have been introduced for obvious reasons. So particularly issues having to do with no support for nurses who become ill during treatment, during the course of their work for the state and all of that. So it would seem that these things have been there, except there have been some enhancements and then also the introduction of a few lines so as to deal with other problems. The question is whether really they deserve it. If they deserve it, then they have to be paid. An agreement has been reached. And once the agreement has been reached, because the government was not sleeping when they were in the negotiations.
Yeah, but the other question beyond whether they deserve it, is this the optimal approach to meeting them? Because when you listen to Kobe, he's talking about the workplace has various challenges.
Very hazardous.
I still think that the multiplicity of allowances does not even answer the question. Maybe a certain basic salary pegged to inflation, where increases are done more regularly to cover for clothing and things. Because, you know, who is even going to calculate all of these things?
But they have a formula for calculating it. And these days you have a software. So once you know your basic pay and you know all the allowances you are entitled, they just key in. And then
you see, not to draw, you know, we had a discussion about national service, ghost names and all of these things. Sometimes when we make the budget, what do you call it, the thing so complicated, it lends itself to abuse, in my view. So I'm not even talking about whether the strike is deliberate. I'm just talking about the general complicated thing he read. Like, how do you have such a complicated, you know, does this apply to, so Scarlett, maybe find lecturers for me. Maybe, do you have the same type of thing?
So for the avoidance of doubt, degree awarding public health sector institutions, I'm not done, you know, I'll get to your questions soon. For the avoidance of doubt, degree awarding public health sector institutions are public health sector institutions offering tertiary programs in diploma, degree, master's and PhD. The existing provision on medical or health care for all nurses and midwives in the public sector is to be maintained with the agreed amendment as contained in the collective agreement. The employer, through the Ministry of Health, agrees to pay for annual professional license renewal fees of public sector nurses and midwives as contained in the collective agreement. The employer, through the management of health facilities, agrees to pay for the cost of continuous professional development of public sector nurses and midwives as contained in the collective agreement. The effective date of implementation shall be 1st July 2024, in witness whereof of the parties herein have set their names and hands this 20th day of May 2024. For employer, Benjamin Arthur, Engineer, Chief Executive, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. For Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Mrs. Perpetual Furiampo, for President, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives. And then you have the Chief Director, Alhaji Hafiz Adam, for the Ministry of Health. And then General Secretary, David Tinkranchum.
Let's read a few comments.
Okay, so this one says, hey, why all these allowances?
Charlie?
What would they use their salaries for? Oh, this guy. No wonder we are paying huge taxes without development. Private workers are breaking our spines for public workers to enjoy. Oh, this man.
Don't do that. They're also breaking their spines.
But you also see why the government is unable to employ new nurses. Because once they get onto this chain, and I'm not even saying this money is a lot, it seems like the space to accommodate new nurses is not there because there's no financial space.
Yeah, but
meanwhile, their colleagues in the private sector may not be paid all these allowances.
Yeah, but yesterday we were told that somebody was earning 4,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah, 3,999. After working for 5 or 10 years.
As a salary, but have they added allowances?
No, that's what the person takes home eventually. I mean, everything put together.
Are you sure?
From what he was
Be
saying.
careful, some of it is the salary.
So the allowance.
The allowance is what tops it up. The salary is the amount is mentioning. That 399 is the salary.
But it's paid together. It's not like it.
No.
When they pay the allowances,
maybe they'll put the
allowances are conditional.
Maybe the salary goes in your bank account and the allowance will give you cash. You go to account office.
No. What they are saying is, I'm saying that just be sure that 3,900 is the overall take home.
They're consolidated. No government worker goes back to say that they calculate everything and then what do you call it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I don't know whether the person who sent you that text is telling you what they take.
Disaggregated.
Yes, so you should just wait and check.
Anyway, let's take more comments.
Oh, why have you deleted it?
Are you deleting it? No. Okay. There are nurses who are tutors in the various nursing schools.
Right.
So the book and research allowance
It's for them.
This one said, Bernard, don't be surprised at the number and the numbers you're hearing and some of the allowances the guy is mentioning. The basic is nothing to write home about.
Okay.
You'll be shocked to see the basic salaries of the various expert groups. Nursing in Ghana is just sacrifice. It's coming in from Kofi in Tema. And this one from Jonathan in Ga West says the issue is that the government has over the period relegated the payment of all these allowances to the health facilities. The IGF is unable to support the allowances, hence all the associations are fighting for their pound of flesh from the controller and accountant general. This one is from Da Costa in Oyarifa. Says, Bernard, a lot of these allowances mentioned by Caleb are to be paid by the facility within which the nurses work.
Okay.
The problem is that if you work in a facility that has weak financial muscles, then you don't get them. And this one from BB in North K says, please, Richard, it is not correct that all these things have been there. They are all new. In as much as we sympathize with the nurses in some cases, they are now being unreasonable and just holding everybody to ransom.
So
are you a nurse?
Quick sort of admission. So the person who sent the money, 3,009, said that is consolidated.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I need to say is that so this question is a very genuine question. You see, if your salary is small and your allowances are many, on one hand, you are cheating yourself, but also you are also cheating the state. Because generally, salaries are taxable, but allowances are not. So you see, the way it's done is that the government can charge. So let's assume you take home 5K in allowances of 3K and then basic salary of 2K. Your income tax is calculated on the 2K, but so too is your pension. So you pay less for your statutory, but you also gain less in your future. So you get a 3,000 to chop, but your 2,000 that you take home, you get it. It's not. So it's a double-edged sword in my view, and it's something I think we should be more transparent about this. And I also feel maybe we should broaden the discussion to other professions, because this week some lecturers have said that if they don't get their book and research allowance, they also go on strike. In fact, I think it was yesterday. So maybe we should try and do our own single spine, compare these professions and see how poorly are nurses paid compared to teachers or lecturers or doctors or whatever.
Is it not disturbing that a person who would have worked all these years is receiving 4,000 Ghana cedis, everything consolidated?
For 10 years.
For 10 years.
It's serious.
4,000.
Did they mention anything about rent?
So,
I would have loved to see if they pay their rent for them or housing or something, because if the money excludes rent, then it's on way.
Yeah, because look, okay, let's even ask you. Let's just take the 4,000 Ghana cedis. What is the average cost of rent?
Hey, bro.
In Accra,
bro. Do you want to go there? This tree you are shaking? Are you sure you want to go there? Master, stop.
And yet you have MPs now saying they want to pass. What do you call it?
Yeah. That will let them drive through traffic.
No. They say they want to audit people's lifestyle. Do you know how the nurses are surviving? 4,000 Ghana cedis.
But that does not apply to nurses. Lifestyle audit is aimed at the high end.
No, why they should, if it is properly passed, everybody should be affected.
No, you won't find anything with the nurse. Nurses don't have any money. That's not even question.
There's nothing on rent.
Nothing on rent.
There's nothing on rent.
Okay. So what we will say is that let the government and the nurses work out something so that the suffering of patients will be reduced. It's 5 minutes past 9. When we come back, it's on-air series for the Citi Business Festival. This morning we're discussing Agric, seed and input systems. But here's a question. Have you figured out what to get Dad this Father's Day?
Yep.
That's a question for all of you.
Yep.
Whose fathers are still alive? Kabi, a proud guy.
When is Father's Day?
It's next week Sunday.
It's Sunday. It's Sunday.
It's near my dad's birthday. I'll do combination.
You consolidate.
You make it an allowance. Well, Kabi is a proud Ghanaian brand making top quality chocolate from our very own cocoa beans. This Father's Day, we've put together a special package called the Immune Booster.
Yes.
Which includes cocoa powder, cocoa nips, delicious custom-made chocolate with your dad's picture on it.
Yes, my photo.
And a few other sweet surprises.
The way Sky said my photo, he means this.
It's thoughtful,
They have to be working.
it's healthy, and it's something he'll definitely enjoy. Kabi produces customized chocolate gifts for corporate events and businesses. Perfect if you are planning something for your team or clients.
Oh, beautiful.
To order, call 0243 827 724. Let me repeat the number. 0243 827 724. Locate Kabi at Palace Mall, Mig Mart, that's made in Ghana Mart, Super Save and other supermarkets. This Father's Day, show Dad some love the Ghanaian chocolate way with Kabi. Or is it Kebi? Take a bite. And so see,
Kebi.
You know, if you write this thing and don't tell me how it's pronounced, I'll just mention it Kabi. It's Kebi.
Kebi namin Kebi.
Bite song. Take a bite. Kebi namin Kebi.
Yes, sir.
Kebi. Oh, and I was say Kabi.
A shock.
Who brought this announcement? Charlie, you should give me Charlie. These are salespeople.
Messages are pouring
on the allowance.
On the allowance,
are responding.
Allowance.
Charlie.
Somebody also suggested that they should convert the nursing training allowance and use it to pay.
Actually, because it comes to about 70 million.
No, the nursing training allowance is for the trainees.
Those who are in training, yes.
To help them survive
Alawa.
the school system. You know, and how much I hear
it's become a political issue.
Some small money, I don't
Charlie. Let me take a break.
That small. The way it's been become an election issue.
No, the allowance is not small.
It can't be that small.
No, it's small for you.
Yeah,
but Charlie, for me the nurses, for me the hostlers, Charlie, it's a lot.
Put it all together.
It's a lot of money.
You see, Sky, you expose yourself.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hey, of course. You know we have been friends since childhood, and we always tell each other everything.
Oh, Cynthia, I know that. And that is why you're my best friend.
We even eat together, and I have spare keys to your room. I also know your phone password.
Cynthia, don't I also know your phone password?
Yes, so. But what about your Momo PIN?
Hey, no way.
Indeed, Akos. Your Momo PIN is your secret. Do not share your PIN for any reason or give your PIN to someone to send cash on your behalf. Davida, never give out your PIN or OTP as a means of claiming a so-called promotional prize one. Your PIN is like your toothbrush. It only belongs to you. Stay alert.
MTN. So you need a vehicle tracking system to manage your fleet. But how do you choose the right company for real results? Most tracking companies just sell you a system and leave you on your own. But at Instroma GPS, we go beyond that. With expert consultation, real-time tracker monitoring, emergency support, and constant updates, we make sure you maximize savings and efficiency. Join hundreds of businesses that trust Instroma GPS for world-class fleet management. Call 024-676-7662 now for a free demo. Instroma GPS. Your choice, your savings.
Human resource is crucial for Ghana's development. The Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Ghana presents CIHRM 2025 Conference under the theme Regulating HRM in Ghana, Standards, Ethics and Sustainability. Date 18th to 19th June 2025. Venue Alisa Hotel, Northridge, Accra. Conference fees: members 3,200 Ghana cedis, non-members 4,000 Ghana cedis, student members 2,000 Ghana cedis. For sponsorship, partnerships, special discounts, call 024-327-8694 or 020-811-2644 today. Sponsors: GCB, VRA, Gridco, NPA, Ghana Airport, We Power Authority. Media partners: Channel 1 TV and Citi FM. CIHRM 2025 Conference, transforming work and workplaces. Be there.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Wale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Massa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. Ecobank, the Pan-African bank.
As a busy professional, I struggled with back and neck strain from long hours at my desk. To improve my focus, productivity, and well-being, I sought expert advice from the CEO of Expert Office Furnish.
After being in the furniture business for 25 years, I can tell you two things that causes back pain in the workspace: bad sitting posture and not sitting on a good chair. I recommend to you the Genevia Beeper chair, the chair that helps you to sit right. When you don't sit right, it beeps for you to be able to sit right. The next will be the Enjoy chair. It takes every body shape and size. Buy a chair that will support your back and give you that comfort to be able to deliver on your job.
Expert Office Furnish offers molding furniture for comfort, productivity, and style. From seating to customized solutions, plus interior decoration services, they've got it all. Find them off the Atomic Hills Estate Road in Ashonman or call 0571 386602 on Facebook and Instagram at Expert Office Furnish.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Here's another edition of the Honor Series of the Citi Business Festival 2025. It's powered by your favorite radio and television stations, 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. We're on the wings of Absa Bank Ghana Limited, MTN Ghana, as well as Zonda Tech Ghana. We are in our second week trying to delve into the agricultural sector, which is at the heart of the national economy. Today, we get a sense of what the seed and agri-input industry is all about. I am Neil Latte. Do stay with us. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest and set the ball rolling. Many thanks indeed for your time. Like I mentioned, today we are trying to get a sense of the seed and agri-input industry. How do these elements shape, food security, production, and even help us reduce our dependence when it comes to imports? My guest is Dr. Amos Rutherford Azinu. He's founder of Legacy Crop Improvement Center. He describes himself as a seed business executive as well as a plant breeder. Welcome, Amos, to the show.
Thank you for having
long
me.
Since last year when we met at, the Agri Forum, when we were talking about understanding the Agric value chain. You made some really striking, statements there. And I want us to begin on that note by referring you to some of the things that you said. So, for example, if I recall, you said the value of any industry lies in the value chain.
Exactly.
And that if we can do Agric, we can do it without, land and fertilizer, but we can't do it with seed because seed is at the heart of food security. I found that very intriguing. And what did you mean when you said all those things?
Well, thank you, Annie. Let me begin from here. I said we can farm without land, fertilizer, but you cannot farm without seed. Because basically seed form the foundation of everything we do in the crop production. Even if you are in animal rearing or you are rearing pigs, they depend on crops. And those crops are produced through seed. So there's nothing you can do. These days they are talking of aeroponic, where people are farming water, people are farming the air without necessarily using the natural soil that we used to know. So that is my basis of forming that statement to the people. And the reason why I said the value of every business is the value chain, not in one part, is that agriculture is a value chain.
Indeed.
We shouldn't treat it as a block, as we used to do, where somebody is saying, oh, I'm a potato farmer or I'm a cabbage farmer. So he's only concentrating on the farming, but doesn't know what's happening in the market, logistics, and other. It's a whole chain. You need to look at it in comprehensive manner. You know that, okay, if I produce this thing, this is where it goes, and this is what happened to it, so that you'll be able to de-risk those activities along the value chain. And you'll be able to get benefits through the value chain so that you can actually be profitable in the
amazing. You know, our Agric sector is often linked to the issue of low productivity, but with this low productivity challenge, how much of it is linked or related to poor seeds and even poor agri input, for example?
So let's take it from this way. You know, when God created the earth, the land is immovable.
Yeah.
Land is not increasing in size. However, the human population is increasing. So in the past, people used to do what they call shitting cultivation, where you cultivate a particular land for a period of time. Then you move to another area and you return back. These days, because we are competing for land for a lot of issues, you don't have an opportunity to do that. But if you used to plant 1 acre and you used to have, let's say, 10 bags of it, the issue now is that how can we get 20 bags, 50 bags from the same land space we are using to feed the increasing population? So most of the time we rely on a poor seed, thinking that, okay, if I grow anything, I will be able to get back.
Once you put it in the soil,
once you put it in the soil, I give it fertilizer or rain or it generates. No, that's not the point. The point is that seed carry a certain, what we call the breeders call genetics. And that genetic determine its potential. So every seed has its own genetic, and the seed have to also perform in a certain environment. So there are times farmers are putting the seed in the wrong environment, expecting a better result. It won't happen.
So somebody will ask, seeds are natural, and so if we say a seed is poor, and so it will not help us farm perfectly, how come do we arrive at that? So what factors account for poor seedlings before we come to the issue of agri input?
Okay, so let me rate that your question to human relationship.
I see. That's a human relationship element.
So how come that you don't marry your sister or your sibling? People basically said that, because it's a blood related. That's one part of the equation. Because you are closely related to each other. When you marry your cousin or your sister, your offspring, which are your children, will be what we call segregation. So there will be segregation in the family. You'll become more weaker. You understand? So when you look at, typically when we are teaching genetics, we do use this example. When you look at our friends from Ashanti, the Ashantis are typically black, smallish people. Yeah. So their forefathers understand genetics from generation. So what they try to do is, okay, let our sisters marry our friends from the north. But they are already naturally, they are very giant people. So that's the crossbreeding. The same thing that we bring to the seed production too. We need to select the male and the female and then determine the outcome of that. The outcome is what the farmer is planting to have a better harvest. But the farmer doesn't have that technical eyes. So if the farmer chooses to go to market and buy anything, he will not be buying what actually fits for the purpose and give a better yield.
Since we started, but I want to also find out from you, in the value chain, what are some of the other agri inputs that we must be careful about when we want to increase or even scale up our agric production?
Okay, so let's take it easy. The agric input is actually, the economy of it is a foundation for successful food production and animal rearing. So let's put it in that context. And that compares all the natural resources or essential resources the farmer needs, like the seed, fertilizer, chemical, feed, irrigation machines, equipment for land preparation, harvesting equipment or post-harvest equipment. All those are things that the farmer needs. For instance, let's move to, let's say, for fertilizer, for instance, is the one that actually powers the plants. to grow in terms of nutrition of it. We live in a tropic, and our tropic, most of the soils are lacking in terms of some of the major nutrients and minor nutrients that we need. So the farmer needs seed, the same time he needs fertilizer, the same time he needs irrigation equipment in the area of climate change now. You also need mechanization machines like the tractor, harvesters, all those things. But the same time, you need a storage system. And the last one we don't pay attention to is the logistics, because the farmer needs to transport whatever he's harvesting from the farm to wherever the final destination. Those are the things as a farmer you have to take into consideration when you want to go to any agriculture venture.
So between the issue of, say, regulation and financing, which one will you say is affecting us when it comes to really understanding this agri-input and seed business?
I think the finance is actually the blood of everything.
So you think commercial banks do not really understand the concept of seed financing, so maybe they are not pushing a lot of funds in there?
You can't bring the bank necessarily 100% for that. I think we also, the farmers or the seed companies in this country, over time we also fed the bank. Some have taken loans from facilities from the bank. They defaulted. They did not pay. So the bank doesn't have an interest in loaning to the farmers, but maybe if somebody sells cocoa at the roadside, the bank want to work with that person have a good record of repayment. So over time, we as a farmers too, as a seed business people, also fail the banks, the financial institution, not only the bank but other financial institution. The second issue is that which they also have to think that they don't really understand the agriculture or the seed business on its own. Because with that, everything we are doing in this space will not move. With that, the high quality seed and its availability and accessibility, all the things we are talking about will not even move.
And so based on your experience, do you think letting them understand, or we finding innovative financing models to cater for some of these things will suffice?
We have to have a brand. The farming activity needs to be formalized and standardized. Today, if you are an investor looking for a formalized system to invest your money, you will not get it if you are not careful. Because many of the farm enterprises you have in this country have not been registered, they have not been regulated. So that's a problem with the bank also. When you are going to a farmer who say I'm producing seed for 10 years now, you ask for 3 years audit report, you'll be surprised that you don't have it there. So in that case, you don't have any historical data for the bank to study to know where is your business starting from and where it's going in the near future for them to know what kind of facility that will work for you. So we need to actually run this business as a business, not a hobby anymore.
I see. We need to run this business as a business. I like that point. But last year we experienced some form of drought in parts of the country, and also there's this issue of climate change. Are we on course when it comes to developing resistant, seeds when it comes to issues of drought and even climate change, for example?
Yes, so we have fairly some few varieties of improved seeds against the disease and climate variability, but that is not enough. Research is a continual work and a very capital-intensive job we need to do. I think what we have to do is to put more resource into those developments in order to avert. Last year you talk of droughts. The next time we will be talking of excess water, which is flood. The question will be asking ourselves that do we have variety that can survive in water? Next time we'll be talking on high temperature. Maybe now we have a temperature of 35 and our crops are surviving. If the temperature gets to 40, 45, do we develop crops that will survive that high temperature? So the research is actually continuing, not what we did yesterday. What we did yesterday solved yesterday's problem. But we have to be thinking of solving tomorrow's problem.
Has technology or, let's say, government policies like planting for food and jobs, we also see government providing subsidies to farmers for agric input, for seeds, example. What's your sense? Are these things yielding the necessary result, or we have a long way to go?
No, I think the evidence outside there is visible for everybody to see. It's not for me to say whether the planting for food because it's a total failure. We spent 2.8 billion cedis importing seed into this country, but as I speak to you, government is still importing maize to feed the Ghanaian population. It tells you that if you spend 2.8 billion on a project like that in 8 years, and you are still importing one of your staple food, which is maize, to feed your citizens, then you don't need any word to describe that. You know obviously where we are heading to. But the point also is that it's not necessary for government to say I'm subsidizing seed and fertilizer. It's a good thing to do, but you have to find a way of doing it. I always said that when you want to be a medical doctor, in this country and the world, you go to school and you always get certification to practice it. How come when somebody wanted to be a farmer in this country, they don't certify the farmer?
I see. So in your view, what's the missing link? Because I think we know what the problem is.
Now, if you are subsidizing a farmer, you don't even know, you don't have a database on the farmer. So after that, how do we track the masses and see, okay, the farmer used to get 1 bag. With the support I gave him, he's now moved from 1 bag to 3 bags. You understand? Because the farmers are not formalized, they are not. So the point is that today, if the farmer wants to plant maize, he knows the cost of the fertilizer, he knows the cost of seed, he obviously knows the cost of land preparation. But the point is, he doesn't know how much he's going to sell his maize or his tomatoes or pepper at harvest. You understand?
Yeah.
So one of the things we are missing there is that how come we are not setting the floor price for major commodity that we are having? Because I should be able to have a fair idea at the end of the day that this my pepper, if I harvest it, 1 kilo costs me this amount of money in the market. I shouldn't be in the mercy of the market queen, who at the end of the day will determine how much he or she wanted to buy that product. So if the state can take a policy in that area, we are doing it for cocoa and coffee and the rest. Why are we not doing it for maize, cassava and the rest?
It's getting interesting. This is the honor series of the Citi Business Festival 2025. Today we are trying to unpack the seed and agri-input industry, how to make it more resilient and investable. My guest is Dr. Amos Rutherford Azinu, founder at Legacy Crop Improvement Center. We are not done. Stay with us. We'll be back and look at how Ghana can scale up its capacity. And of course, I'll give him some aspects of the agri value chain so that we get to know what farmers and prospective farmers will have to know when it comes to these things. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is the honor series of the Citi Business Festival 2025. I am Ni Latte. Dr. Amos Rutherford Azinu is my guest here, helping us really appreciate the issue of seeds and agri-input economy. So, Doc, before we went on that breather, you were talking about how government is doing a lot for cocoa, but areas like maize and other inputs are lagging behind. So, my next question to you is that what seeds do you identify, or what input do you identify as our best bet, and which ones do you think have more prospects?
For instance, in terms of seed, we can do with maize, rice, okra, pepper, cowpea, sorghum, even millet. Those are the things we can produce here and we export to the neighboring countries. We don't need to import to this. You see, when you look at the global seed market today, it's over 70 billion United States dollars.
Yes, I think you mentioned that last year. You said we were doing about 2 billion.
Good. When you take Africa, if you take the whole Africa, that has a 60% of the world arable land. Okay, our value or market value in that market is 2.4 billion United States dollars. So you ask yourself, what do you need to produce seed? It's land and water, which we have abundant in Africa, but we have not actually invested in that business. You are getting a point. So that's why we are still importing. Our vegetable seed market in Ghana, for instance, is actually dead. We import everything, and that's the millions of dollars sitting there on top. We are looking at, by just doing what normally called turnaton, where we buy and sell. We are more comfortable with that kind of system. So the state needs to partner with the private sector to engineer that. If something that we have to learn from COVID is the disruption of the logistic in the global value chain. When the COVID happened, that's what happened to us. One of the things that sustains us is agriculture. For the period we are locked up. So it's something that we cannot play with. We have to now be thinking of it. And how do we sustain this business? How do we take advantage of 70 billion United States dollar global market?
So this private sector support that you talk about, what form and shape should it take?
You know, when you go outside there and ask every person, farmer or seed producer, they will mention a lot of things to you. They will talk of finance, they talk of it. But if you ask my candid opinion, is the problem is, one, poor managerial skills of the artists in the value chain. Second, is the weak financial architecture that we have. Because, as I said, you are talking to a farm enterprise that have no proper record, They don't keep a data. How do you make a decision without the data in this global world that we are living today? And our financial institutions also don't understand. Our farming activity in this country mainly depend on donor grants. All the farming activity actually depend on donor facility too, which is not sustainable. So even I don't encourage government going out giving a support. For instance, let me give you an example. If you want to go into the farming and you said you need irrigation, government has a lot of irrigation facility in this country. All that government has to do is to allocate those lands to you to go and farm. If you say you need irrigation, the type of irrigation that we need, we can actually install it for you. We don't necessarily have to give you money. You know, typically as a black people, when you give people money, they'll marry second wife. So you should be very careful about it.
I see really interesting points, Doc, you make over there. But you know, you've spoken about data, you've spoken about research. But I also want to bring in this element of, you know, we are in an era of AI, blockchain, and other form of technologies. How do you see these things playing out when it comes to, let's say, seed traceability, demand forecasting, and even the identification and targeting of farmers to benefit from some of these things?
Exactly. You are right. So we cannot do in our seed business now without the modern technology like the AI. Because right now, you can just sit in your office when you plant 100 acres of seed. The technology can determine the output that you get at that harvest. You can do, which we don't used to have in the past until we do the harvesting. There are drones now you can fly to your farm that can tell you the stage of the maize in terms of because when the maize is in the cobs, you can't tell whether it's really mature for harvesting. But the system can do that. You can use the same block value chain for delivery. You know, logistics is one of the things we have not faced in this country in terms of delivering seed. My company used to deliver seed to neighboring countries in West Africa. It's a headache for us.
I see.
When you try, we are doing it, but the faster that you want, you will not get it the way you want. You know, speed in delivery is part of our business. You will not get it, but you are thinking that, okay, if there are logistic companies that have cold chain delivery, because the seed have to be kept in a certain condition to guarantee its viability when the farmers are planting. Now, when you want to send it, we are sending to a car that is not air-conditioned van and all those things, which we are afraid that when you get to the farm gate, it may lose its viability. That actually may affect your brand of seed.
And you lose the investment
thereof. You lose the investment thereof.
Interesting. So in 5 minutes, we are ending and concluding. I'm actually taken aback by the revelations you are making, but let's give ourselves some 5 elements in the agri-input value chain. For each of these elements that I give you, what should farmers know about them in 1 minute for each? So for example, when I say fertilizer, what are the misconceptions? What are the things farmers and prospective farmers should know about it?
So every farmer needs to. People say fertilizer is not good, is bad. No. We are only helping the soil is supposed to provide those fertilizers to the plant, but because they have deteriorated over time, we are only empowering the soil to do that. But one of the things misconception you have is that people think that every soil needs the same kind of fertilizer without doing soil analysis. Without the soil analysis, if you are just pouring fertilizer on the soil, you are wasting money. Because we need to understand the pH of the soil, you need to understand the organic matter content of the soil, water holding capacity of the soil. Those are the things every farmer needs to know to determine what kind of fertilizer did my soil need. The fact that me is using a certain type of fertilizer in his farm does not guarantee that my soil I'm also using have to
if I got increased yields because of the fact that I use this particular fertilizer, it doesn't mean that you must also...
Because your soil is different from my soil.
I see. What about irrigation?
Irrigation is actually the best insurance for farming these days. If you are farming, you don't have irrigation facilities like gambling. You are only doing lotto. Okay. But the point is that irrigation infrastructure is very capital intensive, so very expensive. So every farmer needs to know what kind of crop you are growing and what kind of irrigation system you need to have. If you are going to grow a vegetable, let's say pepper or green pepper, you don't need central pivot system in your farm. Probably you need a drip irrigation or you need some flowery. If you are doing a rice farm, you also need a flowery irrigation. You don't need overhead irrigation system. So your crop and the type of soil you have will really determine the type of irrigation, and your water source will determine the type of irrigation that you will be having in your food.
Next is agrochemicals.
Another big industry. You know, we left agriculture for, in quote, uneducated people. So they are killing us by not understanding. You can do a farming where people tell you have to use pesticides. Pesticides are the chemicals that we use to control pests and insects in our farm. Some of the pesticides they are using are poison, but because they can't read on it. every farmer needs to read the instruction of those pesticides and know exactly those chemicals are used for, at what stage. There are chemicals that when, let's say you grow okra and they are in the fruiting stage, you are not supposed to use. But they use it and harvest. The next day they harvest the fruit and we are consuming it.
On the market.
So they need to understand that, and volume that you have to use per what quantity of water.
It's also crucial.
It's very, very crucial. Sometimes they are missing it and the chemical is more than the water. So it's highly concentrated.
And even the application, to get it wrong at times.
They are not wearing their gloves, they are not in their protective gloves, all those things, which means that they are also exposing themselves to the chemical, which is a health hazard they will be suffering from.
What about machinery?
Very essential for modern farming and food security, because now we don't have a labor. We cannot use the labor to be cultivated 50, 100, and 500 acres. But you also need to know what kind of crop you are doing, what tools that will be needed. So, for instance, if your farm is not even a large farm, for instance, I always tell people, if you have a 20-acre farm or 50-acre farm, you don't need to buy a tractor, for instance, because that's too small for you to own that machine. Unless you have a system of using it to work for other people. Probably your best point is to say, I'm going to rent it to come and work for me and I pay off, then it goes away. Then you look at your harvesting. Will I need machine for harvesting my crop, threshing, post-harvest issues, all those things, and storage? Did I need a system to keep those things? Those are the things you need to do all these things from the beginning, not in the middle of farming. You need to have all this plan. This is how I'm going to harvest my crop. I will need machine. I will need A, B, C, D. So you don't get to the system before you are looking for those kind of systems. Other than if you don't have the finance or capital to do it, it becomes very difficult for you.
That's part of the investment choice. And so my final one will be on, let's say, animal feed. Is it something that plays a key role in
very,
the
very. You know the best response to the feed at a certain stage. There are feed that you have to give in the balance. The ratio is very, very crucial. If one is bigger than in terms of missing, let's say you have a layers, and you are giving them the broilers feed, you can determine what we are getting. You will not get the kind of eggs that you need. There are vaccines that you have to provide them at a certain stage, which you need to do at the right time, not the time that you want it. That's the reason why you cannot be a proper animal farmer and be a scientist farmer. You have to be there. You know, in our
so you can't sit in Accra, your family is in Kumasi, or let's say somewhere in the northern region, and then you are not visiting, you don't know what is going on.
You need to have a very honest farm manager. If you have a bad one, I can guarantee you that investment will be in waste.
Will go down the drain. Yeah. Okay. So my final question to you, Doc. I mean, we've spoken at length, and I think you have not even exhausted the whole issues. But what is your message to prospective farmers, policymakers, those who are practicing now, the government? How do we make Ghana a hub when it comes to seed management, development, and even the agri-input value chain? What's that one thing that we need to know as a nation? Can we capitalize on it to push the Africa agenda?
I think we have a unique opportunity. Our lands are very good. We have abundant water. But what we have not looked is the investment to empower that sector that we have not done. And most of the time, what we have done for ourselves is to think that when we throw money at a problem, the problem is solved. We end up creating more trouble for ourselves. I always tell people that the best approach to learn is to be apprentice. If somebody wanted to be a seed producer, or like I will tell you point blank that you have to come and do internship with a company that is well doing, because there are things that they are doing now that you are thinking that is good. The same time they are doing that there are things that they are doing that is not good. You can learn so that when you are about to do your own, you will be able to do it. If you enter the farming today and think that people are making money, I can guarantee a lot of people are bending their hands because they have not really studied and understand the ecosystem very well.
It's never a dull moment with Dr. Amos Rutherford Azinu, founder at Legacy Crop Improvement Center, a plant breeder, as well as a seed business executive. But that's how we wrap up on this edition of the Honor Series of the Citi Business Festival on understanding the seed and agri-input industry. At least we know that farming goes beyond just the land, the fertilizer, and the technology. Thank you so much, Doc, for giving us this particular insight when it comes to the subject matter. I am Nila Tilati. Thank you so much for joining us. See you some other time. The Honor Series And the Citi Business Festival is brought to you by 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. We are sponsored by Absa Bank Ghana Limited, MTN Ghana, and Zondatech Ghana Limited. Catch you.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It'd be a very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, master, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement, unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
On the go, night or day, PBL app is the easiest way. Bank secure, bank with ease. Right at your fingertips, bank is a breeze. PBL app making banking so clear. Anytime, anywhere, we're here. Safe, secure, banking for you. PBL app, simple and true.
Welcome to the future of banking. The Prudential Bank mobile app. Bank secure anytime, right from your phone. Access your accounts 24/7. Perform instant transactions. Pay bills. Link mobile money wallets. Scan and pay with GHQR. Manage your cards. Make seamless GIP interbank transfers. All with ease. No more banking hours. Take control and app your banking. Experience simple, secure and convenient banking. Download the PBL mobile app now. PBL mobile app. App your banking.
Hi, Mom, it's me, Kwame.
Hey, Kwame. How are you?
Mom, I'm fine, oh.
Okay.
You know something?
No, tell me.
I'm looking for a complete furniture set for my new place.
Kwame, I've told you before, the only one place you should go, eh?
Yeah, Mom, but I need a mattress to fit my bed.
Ash Foam.
I need a bed to fit my room.
Ash Foam.
What about a sofa where go relax my body?
Ash Foam.
Wardrobes to fit all my clothes?
Ash Foam.
What about linens and pillows for sweet dreams?
Kwame. Ash Foam.
Mommy, that I feel you. Ash Foam all the way.
For mattresses to beds, sofas, wardrobes, linens, pillows, and more, don't waste time and visit any Ash Foam showroom across the country or call our hotline at 0243 200 729. Ash Foam. Feel it, know it.
Happy Father's Day. This Father's Day, celebrate the strength, wisdom, and warmth of Dad with a well-deserved escape to Petroleum Valley Resort. Enjoy exclusive discounts on our luxurious rooms and pamper him with tailored spa treatments for total relaxation. Top up the experience with our special Father's Day lunch buffet at the Baobab Restaurant while you enjoy classic tunes from our live band with good vibes for the whole family. For reservations, call 0540-125-555 or 0540-125-554. Petroleum Valley Resort. Live life. Happy Father's Day to you.
Hot jobs.
Tired of HR headaches? Simplify your business with Hot Jobs Africa. As your one-stop HR shop, we handle recruitment, labor outsourcing, expatriate management, consultancy services, and corporate trainings. Plus, we offer staff basing and 100% staff support to boost productivity. Don't let HR hassles hold you back. Contact Hot Jobs Africa today. Call us on 030-3980-362. WhatsApp us on 020-433-6004 or email info@hotjobsafrica.org. Visit our website www.hotjobsafrica.org. Hot Jobs Africa. Think HR, think Hot Jobs.
Hot jobs.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
It's so easy. Charlie, how you did?
Charlie, what's up?
Me a day.
How you doing?
Managing.
I be that job.
You be cool, side note damaging.
And your girl?
Oh, she did, she just chop a birthday.
And your mommy?
Cool crash, she did church on Sunday.
What be the move?
Oh my guy, couple of moves up by. I did do some runnings, if I hit then I buy. And yourself?
Oh, normal. A day like a no day. I just choke cool. One corner the West payday.
It's a 9:45. This is still the City Breakfast Show. If you're looking for a little more in life, the Absa Papa account is designed for you. A free GH Link card, access to loans of up to 50,000 cedis when you need help, high interest on savings, free SMS alerts to track every peso, seamless mobile and online banking, all available. If you're looking for more value, more peace of mind, and more control over your money, then Absa's Abapa account is just the one for you. Terms and conditions apply. Your story matters. Absa.
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Get ready for a game changer SMEs. We're introducing Yellow Biz, our new multi-service bundle with everything you need for smarter business solutions. It's an all-in-one package consisting of 4G plus router with 10 gig of free data, Microsoft Office 365, Webways, a customized business website for your business, and Unicom Service, a unified business communication solution for your virtual call center. For all these and more, call 100 or 0244308111 or email mtnbusiness.gh@mtn.com. Celebrate the king in your life this Father's Day at the Africa Regent Hotel. Treat that to an unforgettable experience filled with style, taste, and heartfelt moments. Sunday, 15 June, Father's Day brunch from 12 noon to 4 p.m. at Mukia Restaurant. Enjoy a flavorful buffet with live music by Christ the King Angelic Choir at 770 CDs. Book our exclusive Father's Day weekend package, 3340 per night. Enjoy club room for two welcome drinks, breakfast and dinner buffet, all available at a great price. Book by calling 0509 395 104. All right, so Realtor and Tours is a real estate and travel management company with nearly a decade of experience helping multinationals and experts and local clients find, buy, and lease residential and commercial properties, including warehouses, with a focus on location and investment returns. They also support property owners and developers to rent, to lease, or sell their properties. In addition to real estate and travel management services, we offer separate relocation and furnishing solutions for individuals and businesses. So in studio, I have the general manager of the company, Frances Nyameke. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Welcome to the show. That's an interesting name, Realtor and Tours. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Bernard.
Tell me more about your company, Realtor and Tours.
So, Realtor and Tours, the name describes itself.
Okay.
So, the Realtor focuses on real estate, residential properties, commercial properties, warehousing, everything real estate. And then the Tours focuses on travel. So, travel management, tours. Yes, so it's just a blend of the two, Realtor and Tours.
What advantage does a person get working with a Realtor agency instead of going directly to the client?
Well, we provide an easy transition for companies. Most of our clients have been FMCGs, non-profit making organizations, banks, mining companies. We provide an easy transition. So So when, say, a company has an expat coming into the country, we pick them up from the airport, identify the right properties. We also help in the negotiation process because it can be a very long process. We assist with the negotiation process, ensure that there's safety, everything is in the property before the client moves in. So we are your safest bet when it comes to identifying the right properties with the right owners. Yes.
What type of properties do you have or provide, and how can businesses use them? So talk a bit about the kind of properties we're talking about.
So our focus is mostly on luxury real estate.
Okay.
So our properties sometimes have mixed use purposes. You go into a property with a restaurant, or a gym, a concierge. So we provide apartments, townhouses, commercial properties, and also service offices. Service offices meaning a company coming into the country might probably not have a permanent place of office. So what we do is we provide an office where your electricity, internet, everything is already there. You have your desk table. All you need is your laptop. Whilst you wait to get your permanent commercial space.
That's interesting. So you can get that for companies as well.
Yes. Please.
Now, how large a portfolio can you deal with? Because there are property owners with huge portfolios of properties,
Yes,
right? So what scale are we talking about? Is Realtor and Tours able to deal with like large companies with multiple properties?
Yes, so we have individuals that have multiple properties, and we have companies that have multiple properties as well. But we are very focused on the type of developer we rent with. In terms of development, we are looking at a developer that has a very good track record of facility management. So it can be 10, 20, as long as the developer is a developer we can work with, and there's a clientele demand. We work with companies or individuals from all walks of life. So if your property cannot meet, say, the need of a German coming into the country or a Nigerian coming into the country, then unfortunately we will not be able to work with you. But we are very picky on the type of real estate we do.
Quite interesting.
So we can manage a very huge number.
Do you have any specific areas of interest as a company?
Yes, based on the demand from our clients, our specific areas are airport residential area, Cantonment, Ridge, East Legon. Basically, they're very high end.
Is it?
Yes.
They're very high end?
Yes.
I see. All right. So do you have any offers for first time callers? Maybe somebody listening wants to try you guys out. Are there any special offers on? Oh,
yes. So our callers from Citi FM will enjoy a 5% discount on their agency fees.
What do you mean by from Citi FM? Are those who are listening to this show?
Who are listening to Citi FM and then calling us and letting us know that they called us through Citi FM will get a 5% discount on their agency fees.
Is this for the developer side or for the person looking to rent side?
It's for both sides.
For both sides.
So both the developer, both the property owner, the procurement manager or the HR manager looking for a property for their experts coming in, they'll enjoy 5%.
How quickly are you able to work? So let's assume somebody gives you a call today. Today is Tuesday. They need some place by Friday. Somebody's coming for the weekend. Are you able to deliver?
We can deliver on the Tuesday you call us.
The same
We also
Tuesday?
run Airbnb, so we can deliver.
You have Airbnbs as well?
Yes.
Okay, you haven't even announced your number, so I think you probably want to do this. So we're talking to the GM of Realtor and Tours, who are they are realtors and also they do tourism, and they're basically saying the whole shebang. When the person comes in, they pick them up, they get the right fit of property for short-term lease, short-term rent, long-term lease, whatever they can do for both the supply side and demand side. And she's about to announce her phone number. She says if you call this number and you say you are calling because you listen to this show, you'll get a 5% discount on the, you call it agency fee?
Yes.
Agency fee. So let's go with the number.
So 0544 965 779.
Okay. Can you put the number? Okay.
0530 064 754. You can also visit our website on www.realtortoursgh.com or send an email to realestate@realtortoursgh.com.
Sorry, Realtor Tours GH. REALTORTOURSGH.
Yes.
.com.
.com.
You want to repeat the phone number?
054 965 779.
All right.
Or 0530 064 754.
Or www.realtortoursgh.com. All right. Any closing thoughts? Any other thing you need to say to the listeners before you go?
We just want to let the listeners know that we are your one-stop shop when it comes to reliability, hospitality, luxury, in anything real estate and travel, and expect nothing but the best from us.
So for property owners and developers looking to rent, lease or sell properties, this is a number to call. For multinationals, experts and local clients who are looking to find, buy or lease residential or commercial properties, this number to call has been announced: 0544 965 779 or 0530 064 754. You can also go online, www.realtortoursgh.com. Frances, merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup aussi.
Fast approaching 10 o'clock, still on the City Breakfast Show on a Tuesday morning. Don't forget, we have big things happening in the month of June. The Management Bootcamp is ending the month of June, which is the business festival started last week. This week we're focused on Agric and agribusiness. Now on Thursday, we will be bringing you a very, very big conversation on the platform we call the Citi Business Forum. Now, what is the Business Forum going to be discussing on Thursday? Well, we'll be looking at the global tariff situation and how to deal with it. And there's going to be some very, very exciting speakers coming on board to speak to us on that particular platform. Yes, indeed. The global tariff dispute, negotiating or navigating Ghana's recovery strategy. Dr. Ekospio Gabra is going to be there. Mavis Owusu-Jemfi is going to be there. Michael Koto is going to be there, as well as Emmanuel Mensah. And they are going to be discussing what the tariff situation globally, China, US, what it means for Ghana, and what we should be doing. Now, this is strictly by invitation. If you want to attend, you want to call this number 0242 011 424. That's 0242 011 424 to be part of the Citi Business Forum, which is happening on Thursday morning. Don't forget, the Citi Business Festival is brought to you by Absa Bank, MTN, and Zonda Technologies. Now, here's an announcement from GCB Bank for their shareholders. We are committed to ensuring that your shares with us continue to thrive and yield positive returns. Having accurate contact information on you will help us to communicate important updates and notifications regarding your shares directly to you. So we kindly request that you update your records, telephone number, and email address with the bank to get regular, timely, and relevant updates. To update your records, kindly visit any GCB branch and you will be assisted to do this. You may also access our website at www.gcbbank.com.gh. Yeah. So GCB is your bank for life.
Yeah. Lay back, so I'm gonna get something be smooth on this one. Check this out. The only time I drink a 40 is when I wanna drink at 40. And usually when I wear a suit, I leave with not one but two. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. You only live once, they told me. You can't be mad at me, but I can just be cheap. Even though I got my own CD, maybe even on TV, there ain't no change in me. I can only be me. Though I might be on TV, because I got my own CD. All you will ever see, same OG. I used to be the main one clubbing, but now I choose to stay at home.
And before we check out a few more birthday requests, Bernard, please wish Professor Edward Kofi Kwashiga, husband, father, uncle, cousin, grandfather, brother, and mentor, a blessed happy birthday. Professor Kofi Kwashiga is a lawyer, academic, and former dean of the University of Ghana Law School. He turns 70 today, and the entire Kwashiga family, especially his wife, Auntie Jemima, and the children, wish him many more years ahead. Happy birthday, Efo Kofi. And kindly wish my son, Ethan Lawrence, ni Akosenfio Akosen, a happy birthday. He's 15 years old today. May the good God grant many years of happiness, prosperity, and greater grace coming from your dad, Lawrence Akosen of MTN, to Ethan Lawrence ni Akosenfio. And happy 60th birthday to Matilda Otre Boating from the Otre Boating family with love.
People that are around us that are changing. You see, we ain't trying to hurt.
That's all we have time for today's edition of the show. Citi News at 10 with Jubi Afiakinti. Good morning.
Good morning. Coming up, education think tank Africa Education Watch raises concern over inequalities in Ghana's digital education ahead of the 2020